Hello.
Great start.
Oh, sorry. Welcome to the Save the Script podcast. I am Baby Giraffe,
I'm Agent M.
and we're gonna talk about Andor.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah, it's kind of an anomaly for Disney Star Wars, at least from our perspective.
Yeah, I would call it shockingly good.
I was surprised, very pleasantly surprised by the quality of the show.
Yeah, so we've got all of the Disney trilogy,
Right.
which is absolute garbage.
Yes. Force Awakens being the best of the garbage, but still not great.
It says like when you eat it for the first time, it's like, this is really bad. And the more you eat of it, just the more bad it gets.
Ate it for the first time, and I was like, wow, that was really good. I came out of the theater, and I asked my dad what he thought, and he was like, nothing really happened. A lot of it was just kind of set up. And as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, you're right. It's like, my position changed very quickly. It became more solid reasoning later, but,
I actually liked The Force Awakens till The Last Jedi came out. I was totally on board with it.
Yeah, I was making fun of it before The Last Jedi came out. Not for good reasons, though. Unfortunately, I wish I could say.
Yeah.
But Last Jedi came out.
Ugh.
Initial reaction.
I was just baffled. I didn't know what to think about the movie. I definitely would not have said it was bad. But I quickly turned on it.
Yeah. I remember I have come out of two movies speechless. The first being The Last Jedi.
And the B movie.
And no. I have not seen the B movie in theaters, just in the cafeteria every Earth Day.
Lucky
for
you.
A long time. I never even saw it in its entirety because it was during lunch. Anyways, so The Last Jedi was the first, and Infinity War was the second. Infinity War for much better reasons.
Infinity War is really good.
Yeah. But when I came out of The Last Jedi, I didn't know what to think either. I was just kind of, I was thinking about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I didn't like it. And so that kind of sent me on a search to figure out why I didn't like it. Eventually I did, and that's kind of how I developed my view on media today. So a pretty important movie for me. Not a good one, but a very important one.
And then The Rise of Skywalker, which we just laughed at the entire time.
Yeah. With sorry to the one lady in the theater.
That was not good. She was mad at us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she said one thing was just like, some people were disruptive, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think anyone was enjoying this. So,
I mean, I was.
Well, I mean, unironically. So, we were bad theater goers once. Apologies to that one lady. I'm sorry. You should get better taste, though. I mean, there are better movies.
Yeah. And so then they just stopped making movies.
Well, after Solo bombed, and then The Rise of Skywalker's reception was very, very bad. Everybody hated that. Even the people who liked Last Jedi, which was really split.
Yeah.
Most of the people didn't like it, left the discussion pretty quickly, so it's hard to tell exactly how split it was. But The Rise of Skywalker was a resounding, we all hate this. So,
pretty much.
And Rogue One.
Unless you're Ben Shapiro, then you okay, I'm sorry.
Gee, Ben Shapiro's movie takes are so bad, man. Anyways, then of course Rogue One, which Rogue One and Solo are kind of the
Rogue One was the first spin-off.
Yeah, sequel spin-offs.
Which I liked. I still like it.
I like Rogue One-ish. I don't think it's great. There are some things I like K2SO a lot.
Oh yeah.
I think K2SO is very funny. Most of the characters do not hit, but K2SO hits pretty hard.
Okay.
I like him a lot, but not really the other characters. Solo is pretty weak.
I did not like Solo at all.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Doesn't make a lot of sense. It explains things that really don't need to be explained, including Han Solo's name,
and the dice. Don't forget the dice.
Yeah, the dice. It explains the dice.
From the dice.
Yeah, the dice in the Millennium Falcon, which is why did you didn't need to explain that.
No, the entire movie doesn't need to happen.
It doesn't need to exist. And how he met Chewbacca.
That's just disappointing.
That was disappointing. He just happens to know Wookiee, so it doesn't die. It's like,
so bad.
Okay,
so
okay. Anyways, we're not talking about Solo. It was bad.
we are now, but we're not anymore.
We're not.
Let's stop.
We're done. We are moving on. Sorry, that's not gonna happen. No, everyone's disappointed. Everyone cares a lot.
All right, so that's all the movies.
And of course, the only really good thing to come out of Disney Star was actually one of the first things they made before any movies. That was the Phineas and Ferb special.
Oh yes.
Don't pretend to be surprised. You know that.
I know. It took me forever to watch it. I was like, I watched it. Hey, this is actually.
It's funny. It doesn't treat the source material like it's awful. It treats it with respect and a little bit of comedy.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's easily the best thing. And then Andor happened, and now it's not easily the best thing anymore. So
Andor takes a little bit more serious tone than the Phineas and Ferb.
It's a little bit more serious, honestly, just a little bit. But I mean, I don't know.
They're both good. They're
both good. They're both good, but different ways.
It's subjective. You can't.
It's all subjective. You can't hate me. You can't. No.
So you haven't seen any of the other shows?
No. I have avoided them. Well, see, I was interested in Mandalorian until, of course, there was one clip from a trailer where Baby Yoda uses the Force to lift up the
rhino,
the mud horn, I think it's called.
Yeah. Okay, it's just a rhino.
It's a dirty rhino. That's what it is.
It's got hair.
Yeah, aren't there like extinct rhinos with hair? Anyways,
their horns are technically hair. So
can you like brush it or no?
It's hard.
It'd be funny if you could though. Just like mold it into like different shapes. Anyways, you can edit that out, right?
I could.
You could.
I've seen the first season of The Mandalorian. I thought the first episodes were actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Third episode, I was like, this is going to get bad. And then the fourth episode was bad.
Yeah.
And then it was just downhill.
Yeah, I haven't, from the people whose sort of media, from the people who judge media similarly to the
way we do, or you do.
Yeah, we'll edit all this. You say it.
I did say. I said people who judge media similarly to the way we do.
Yeah, the people who judge media similarly to the way we do.
And who have watched it.
Have had very bad opinions about it. Well, not bad opinions about it, but have had a negative view of it. Yes. And because of that, and because of some of the things I've seen from it, some of the clips and stuff I've seen, it does not seem any better than any of the other sequel stuff. Like I said, that trailer, it's a baby lifting a rhinoceros who's charging at high speed. It's like that's not how the Force should work, really. That's not consistent with what was established in the original trilogy, and partially to the prequels. But the prequels break a lot of rules themselves.
Yeah, they do.
They're not
They
great.
change quite a few things up.
I like them mainly because of the memes, but they're not great movies. They're fun ideas, but not great movies.
Yeah, but after I finished the first season of Mandalorian, and just hearing all the things about Boba Fett and the rest of Mandalorian, I was just done. I was not going to watch any of the shows, and I definitely would not have watched Andor. Like it wouldn't have happened unless people said, "Oh, actually, it's shockingly good."
Yeah,
and I was okay.
I think I heard some rumblings about Andor being pretty good, just on the internet, and I was like, really, that's weird. This is not the usual like reasoning I hear for why Disney shows are good, which is usually because they're like action packed and things like that.
Oh yeah, you gotta have.
Yeah, they're
lightsabers and.
Yeah, Disney fans like a lot of action.
Yeah. I do too. So...
Yeah, but I like my action good.
Unfortunately, how would you like your action, sir? Oh, I would like it well done. Oh.
I'm a snob. Yeah, so it sounded different, so I checked it out, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah.
I thought it was very good. I watched it a few months ago for the first time, like back sometime last year.
And I guess it's been about 2 weeks since
Yeah.
I've watched it. I
Yeah.
watched it very recently.
I rewatched it for the podcast here, and
Yeah.
I finished it yesterday. I binge watched for like 6 hours yesterday because I forgot that some of these episodes are like an hour long.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was not a great decision on my part.
It's fine. It's
But
all
it's
fresh in
fine.
your mind.
It is all fresh in my mind, as fresh as it can be, pretty much. So,
Alright.
overall thoughts. I guess we already discussed our overall thoughts. Are pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Pretty good,
Absolutely great. Ooh. Man, it's so good. They go in sections. You've got the 3 episodes at the beginning,
Yeah.
and then you've got another 3 episodes for the heist, and then another section for the prison.
Mhm.
I would say the last episode in every single instance is really, really well done.
I do. I think those last episodes in each of these little arcs are probably like they're really good. There's a lot of payoff, which this kind of ties into a question I want to ask you. A lot of people have criticized Andor for being slow, pacing wise. Do you think that's justified?
I mean, people can not like slow things, but I particularly liked the setups
yeah.
in every instance. Like
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it too. So
yeah, especially the heist in the prison.
Mhm.
You introduced all these side characters, and you're like, man, I am so enjoying seeing the lead up to this heist.
Right.
And when the heist happens, the reason you're glued to everything is because, man, I hope all these characters are able to fulfill their roles well enough. Ugh.
Yeah. I think the first section, the opening section, is kind of underrated in that regard because it is slow. It is definitely slower paced. So if you do not like a slow pacing, you will probably not like this show.
He's like, oh, Andor's just going to place. Yes, but he's just committed a murder and now he's hiding.
Well, yeah, he's. These are moments before disaster.
Yeah.
This is the it's like a snowball effect. This is the tiny snowball, and you're seeing it get bigger and bigger before eventually it becomes an avalanche, and it crashes down in the third episode.
Yes.
So, I liked that a lot, but I do kind of understand why people think it's slow. I wanted to ask you why do you think so many people call it slow in like a very negative way?
Well, because I would say like the tense moments in the first 2 episodes especially are the bad guys like making decisions on how to come down on them instead of, oh, let's just like have TIE fighters flying around and shooting things.
True.
Or that's what I really like about the bad guys in the first 2 episodes is that they want justice to be had for these people who have died, and they're trying to find them as fast as possible and like squeeze them out. And that was exciting to me, but to some people, they're gonna look at that and go, "Oh, I want someone to like be punching each other." Like,
well, I think the conflict is a lot more subtle, and conflict it's the core of storytelling. If you don't have conflict, you don't have a story. That you have to have conflict to have a story. Some people have said the most objectively like the best objective story would be like just like one that has no plot holes or something where nothing happens. If nothing happened, you just say there is this object. It is sitting.
It just sits on a table.
It is on a table. The end. And that would be the best objective story. But by definition, that wouldn't be a story.
Because nothing happens.
Because there's no conflict. So, and I think because the conflict is so much further in the background, it's more subtle. I think that kind of puts people off of it. It's harder for them to see that conflict and see this kind of disaster approaching. I think that's my kind of charitable guess as to why. I'm sure there are people who are just like, where are the guns, man? Why are people not dying?
People need to die. Well, there's like a cool death. Like that's like one of the first scenes.
Yeah, but I mean like that's not the kind of action scenes that the uncharitable people would want. These are the same people who said that WandaVision's worst episodes were the first ones.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, Oh, gee, that show.
I still haven't finished it. I can't do it.
I haven't finished it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
I haven't. I'm not going to. I was like, well, I'm kind of interested to see where it goes. I've never touched it. I don't care. I'm not going back. But that was a show that had a really interesting kind of slow setup.
Yeah.
And it had the same sort of reaction where people were just like, where's the action? Nothing happened. It's like, well, it's a mystery show. And I thought the first episode, I think, of WandaVision is really good. It's just a shame that nothing it sets up is paid off.
Yeah, like the tense scene at the end.
Yeah, especially at the end.
You feel it, and I would say it's the exact same way in Andor. The very first scene.
Yeah,
like after
the first scene.
After like.
Do you want to talk about the murder scene?
I do. I really want to talk about the murder scene.
The opening of Andor is really. I like the opening. I don't think you can call that part in particular slow. I think that's pretty well paced. That first section, the murder section.
Mm-hmm.
But
when he's walking away, like when they're necking him on, he just keeps walking,
mm-hmm.
and I think he's debating, but just like running away.
Yeah.
But I think he knows that these guys are going to be able to find him, and he doesn't want to.
And they're armed.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
So, he would rather try to not have a confrontation.
Yeah.
But they keep going, and they keep pushing him.
Yeah. He seems like, okay, I need to take care of this, whatever.
Right.
I need to just dodge these guys, just hit and like lose them.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy pulls the gun out though, and you see his face, he's like, oh man, this is gonna be a harder situation to get out of.
Yeah. I mean,
I was pretty excited about what was gonna happen.
I mean, when he walks up and he puts the gun against his head.
Oh man.
But, yeah. Normally that's not a very good move
No.
in movies. But in this one, it's very clear as to why. Point blank range, intimidation.
Oh yeah.
So, and there's no risk of hitting your buddy who's trying to take the money.
Yeah.
So, in this situation, I think it makes sense.
Oh yeah.
And it's a good move.
Well, they don't they might expect him to cause trouble or like not want to pay, but the way he's talking, he just seems like he's desperate to get out of the situation. He offers them like an absurd amount of money to get out of the whole deal.
He says he's got, 100 credits in his pocket?
I think it was 300.
300?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure on how the money scales in Star Wars exactly.
Okay.
I do know, how much did he get that ship for? I think 20,000 for
Mm-hmm.
an old ship, and that was twice what it was worth. So 10,000 for an old spaceship, you can get it. So I guess it's not that far off from real world money. You can buy a used car for like $10,000, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so I guess it's not that far off, but.
I don't know. I just hear 300. I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it seems like a lot. It's obviously
enough to bribe these two guys.
It is obviously a bribe, yeah. So it goes wrong though.
Oh, it does.
Very much goes wrong.
First he headbutts the guy behind him, right?
Yeah, I thought that was a good move.
When he's switching over to get to the money.
Yeah. So he says that's the wrong pocket. He's turning behind him, and that's when he headbutts him, and he uses that as an opportunity to wrestle the gun. Out of
away
the
from
other
the other
guard's
guy.
hands. Yeah, which I thought was pretty clever.
It was
a clever, good little action scene.
Yeah, the gun goes off a couple times before he gets out of his hands, and I was like, okay, so this guy's like they're ready to kill this guy just because they don't know they don't know now if Andor's like gonna attack them or not.
Well, they're in a struggle for the gun.
Yeah,
so, yeah, obviously.
That's where all the tension is, and then it gets flung away, and the guy notices his friend's not moving, like
so Hitler's got him on the ground and he says get him up, and then
and he's not moving.
And this is one of my dude, this is a really cool little part. And the guard reacts, you killed him, and it's like just obviously he's angry.
Oh yeah,
he's very clear in the performance. It's very well done. But then if you pay attention to the actor's eyes, I mean, the change in dialogue is pretty cool in and of itself. Mm-hmm. But it's initiated when he looks at the gun. You can see the actor's eyes flick to the gun before he changes to what was it? He was like, "You didn't mean it. You didn't mean it." And it's like
it was a struggle.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
Oh.
And all the while, this guard is talking. He's just trying to like make up this fake story. He's like, "We'll go on together. It'll be okay. We're not, guard knows he's gonna die next."
Yeah, he knows. He's like, Andor has to kill him now.
This has escalated dramatically.
And he's begging him, saying, "I'll tell them it was I'll tell them what happened."
Right.
Like,
yeah, and so Andor, you can see it on his face. He's just thinking this through. He's not paying attention to what the guy's saying.
Not at all.
He is all in his own head, just thinking about what he's got to do, and then he just leans forward and shoots.
Yeah.
And oh man, dude, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And then we're off. What do you feel about the criticism? What do you say to, like, oh, the guy shouldn't have died, like when he headbutted him in the back?
Well, he fell onto the concrete.
Yeah.
It's like, if you hit your head on concrete, that could easily kill you. Yes.
Yes.
This has happened before in real life. There was some footage a while ago where I saw an old man got knocked down by some police officers, and he hit his head on concrete. He didn't pop back up.
No.
He was not doing well, So it's that can totally happen. That's
I totally believe it.
That is very
realistic. I didn't
yeah.
expect it. I didn't
No.
expect that to kill him so fast.
And neither did anybody who was there. Neither did any of the characters. So
yeah.
it was pretty good. And then most of this arc is the Andor's trying to prepare for getting out of Dodge. He's trying to get everything ready so he can leave.
Oh yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. You gonna talk about the villains for those?
Let's talk about Cyril.
Cyril?
Yeah, Cyril.
That's the deputy inspector?
Yes.
Okay, deputy inspector. I really liked him in the first 3 episodes. I don't like him after that. But
I think the first 3 episodes are when I like him most. I like him pretty well up until the stalking.
Yeah, he just becomes a creep. That's kind of
I understand to a little bit of a degree.
I understand.
I understand what they were
he
going
admires this person. Okay, like he looks up to him. Following them to work.
Okay, let me defend it a little bit.
Okay.
I think they took it too far. Okay.
Yes.
To clarify, I think they took it way too far. I think the explicit stalking a little much. But
okay.
You look at his position. He's with his mother.
Yes.
And they do not have a good relationship. She criticizes everything he does, and I like their dialogue because of how he responds to all of her little nagging criticisms of him. It's like, it's a brown suit. Just like so matter of fact. It's like, yeah, it's a brown suit. Who cares? But he's devoted to justice. He's so devoted to that. He's very passionate about it. It's clearly what is his core drive in life. You can see that in the early episodes very clearly. But it's taken away from him for doing what he believes is the right thing, what really is kind of the right thing. Mm-hmm. They're chasing down a murderer for doing his job, but it went wrong. And so he's back with his mother, who, again, they don't get along at all.
Yes.
And she forces him to get a job that he doesn't want.
It reminded me of Mr. Incredible from The Incredibles, to be honest. The job he had.
The environment design, the setting of the workplace, it is so effective at communicating that tight little cubicle.
Yeah.
But it also feels like a space. It feels like something sci-fi, but it also feels very mundane. So shout out to whoever did that. Good job. Good job, buddy. Pretty cool. So he's in this job he hates, and so he's desperately trying to still do what he thinks is the right thing. That's why he gets brought in. Mm-hmm. And he meets this person who agrees with him, who's very higher up. And so that person says, "You were right. This guy's a threat. You were right about that." And she also expunges his record. So I understand why he would have an admiration for her. Why that would make her kind of the central part of his hope for what he's trying to do. I guess even in life, but that's a little broad. But I think the stalkery part is a little much.
Yeah, I think following her to her workplace, and
I can understand why he would want to say thank you. I'm fine with that, but just saying
he didn't quite say it just quite say thank you though.
Well, I know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to defend exactly how far they went, but like, I I would be fine with having that scene to a degree. Maybe change the dialogue a little bit, make him back off a little bit.
Okay.
But you know, definitely need to remove the fact that he's done this multiple times, and that he just shows up and watches sometimes, because that's creepy. That's really creepy. I'm not crazy about that. I don't necessarily think it's out of character. I just think it's a little much. It's a little heavy for. I would like to develop that a little more if that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, for him, I was really disappointed because he didn't quite do as much as I would like him to do in the rest of the show.
I liked him a lot. I would have liked him to be more involved, but
because the first 3 episodes, the first one, he is told by his superior to just drop it. Don't look into it at all.
Yeah, and I like the way that's done.
Oh, I do. I was going to talk about that a little bit.
Dude, the dialogue.
Yeah.
Oh, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, because like he closes the door to tell him. Oh, it's so good.
He closes the door and then. And anyways, we need to stay focused.
Okay, so he's told not to, but then he takes it over. He puts it upon himself to find this guy, and it goes horribly awry.
Right.
Like now we've got more people dead. And
Not only did he not capture the murderer, he has gotten. What was it? 4 more guards killed.
Yeah.
4 more security guards killed, and a citizen.
Yeah.
Killed. So
pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. And I thought
pretty big bungle.
Like after all that, he's gonna completely change like the way he looks at like viewing those kind of crimes. Like maybe my superior was right. I need to rethink how we track down these criminals. Like how we judge these kind of things. I thought he was gonna become a different kind of person, but no, he was more of the. No, I was right the entire time, which he kind of was, but...
I mean, I wouldn't have liked him to change that way. I think his the core drive of his character is the sense of justice.
Yeah. Well, I still want that, but I just want him to, like... I would have rather him had a few episodes of, like, man, maybe I need to rethink, like, how we do this.
I don't know. I'm okay with where they went with it. Okay. I think the...
You like the creepy dude. Okay, well, I get it. Okay.
I told you I would have backed off a little bit. Okay. I told you I would have made him a stalker. But, I mean, I think that was too much. But, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of realistic. It's like, if that were to happen to you, where would you go? You lose your dream job. You get kicked out. You made a huge mistake, apparently, for doing what you believe was right. So... where do you go? You go to your mom. Oh, you and your mom don't have a good relationship. She manages to get you a job that you don't want, but you have to take it anyways. It's your only option. Your best option, at least. And then suddenly this person like calls you up, a superior in the company you used to work for, and says, "Hey, I'm looking into this thing you were looking into. Yeah, you were right. Your suspicions are valid." It's like, oh wow, really? That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of liked it, but I do wish there was a little more going on. The mother stuff goes on for a long time.
It does. I don't mind it that much.
I don't mind it. It just.
I wish it would have done more for him though.
I wish it would have developed him a little longer.
Yeah.
A little more.
That's my criticism.
Most of it is just kind of him getting worn down by her, just irritated and annoyed. And while I do like the dialogue, I think
cereal. Look at the cereal.
Cereal. Yeah. I like the dialogue. It feels very realistic, and in a funny way. I do think it doesn't cause a lot of change, and because of that, I think ideally. Everything in a story should, like every scene, every sequence should cause some sort of change. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to do like anything insane, but some sort of change or development, like either for the characters or like something the audience is learning about the characters that changes how we view them.
Yeah.
I think ideally that's what you would try to do to keep everything purposeful, but maybe not. I don't know. That's just kind of my perspective.
Yeah, I mean it's valid. That's valid. I can see how that comes. Do you want to talk about
The
Deputy Inspector.
Cyril's introduction scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really strong. I think Cyril's best part is that opening, that opening section, that opening arc.
Oh yeah, first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's
absolutely
easily his best part. I think he picks up a bit at the finale. I do kind of like that he's kept in contact with his buddy.
Sergeant.
Yeah, the sergeant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who I really like the sergeant too.
I like the sergeant a lot.
He's also a very much go-getter.
Yeah. And I like the scene where they meet because it does feel very much like yes, this is finally somebody understands me.
Because Deputy Inspector's been bossing everyone around.
Right.
But when he meets the sergeant's like actually all for it and wants to like go get.
Yeah, he's finally met someone with a similar perspective to him. It's like he's finally met somebody who actually understands him. Everyone else is just there to do the job.
Yeah.
They're not passionate about it. They're not there for justice. They're there for the paycheck. That's how it goes.
I really like the sergeant too. He's.
Oh yeah.
We don't get very much of him after that, but with what we get, he's pretty cool.
I really do cool. do like him. I think he makes a pretty good impression. But the first scene with Cyril.
Oh yeah.
This is a very good scene.
He's got the report all ready for him because he knows his superior's leaving that day.
Yes.
And so he's expecting to like get orders to go after this guy.
Yes, he wants to go after them.
Yeah.
He wants it very badly, and so he's got everything prepared. He's presenting it, and I like that he's kind of nervous with authority. He's not like in his element. You can see he's kind of out of his element when he's in the field later too. But when he's really in his element, he makes you can tell
he makes things happen.
You can tell why he got to where he was.
Oh yeah.
He is very definitive and decisive.
His uniform looks a lot cleaner than everyone else's.
He had it tailored.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. But everything looks smooth and ironed out. Everyone else's is loose.
Yeah.
Looser than it probably should be.
Yeah, they don't care about their job really. They're just there to do the work.
Yeah. But once he so he's presented the case and everything, and the superior he just closes the door and and you just. He looks over at the door and closes interesting. I like that a lot.
And where he's his reasoning for trying to cover this up, it makes a lot of sense.
It does. Too. That's why I thought at the end of once it all went to crap at the end, I thought maybe he's gonna rethink the way he goes after these criminals, because he could have been right. It could have just been they picked on the wrong guys, which did happen.
The wrong guy. Yeah.
And they just. But his reasoning is he doesn't want the numbers to ruin his report. He doesn't want to go after it. It'll look bad.
Yeah, it'll look bad for the company.
If it's a serious crime, it'll look bad.
And it'll get the Empire's attention, which is something they definitely do not want.
Yeah. Because those bad, like you said, those bad guy officers shouldn't have even been in that situation.
No, they were on duty. They were drinking in a brothel.
Yeah,
on duty.
Yeah, an expensive one, which they're not supposed to be able to afford, is what he says. That was a great line.
They're not supposed to go there. They're not supposed to drink on duty. They're not. They shouldn't be able to afford a brothel, anyways.
Yeah.
Just bad situation. So he's like, "Go move it, get it out of that area, make it somewhat heroic, trying to help somebody,
but not a parade level.
Yeah. Don't make it too big because you don't want anything crazy, but." And so he's asking him to falsify the report.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he does. I do like that he warns Cyril not to get comfortable while he's gone, not to put his feet up. Don't mess around, pal. Do not go behind my back on this.
Which he immediately does.
Yes, he immediately does, and that poor guy gets fired later.
Yeah. But I didn't even do anything. Exactly. Poor guy.
Yeah. I can't feel that bad for him. I mean,
he asked him to falsify the report.
He was trying to cover up a murder, so it's but it is more understandable as to why. It doesn't make a lot of sense why he asked to do that.
Yeah.
Which I think was cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Cyril's a pretty cool character.
Yeah,
I liked him.
I liked him in the first 2 episodes.
I liked his when he's out of the element in the field, he's trying to give that speech.
Oh man,
And
when
it
they're
just
about to
doesn't-
go, when they're about to go
Yeah.
out, man, that is
Just
cringe-inducing, man.
full of like empty sort of platitudes, attempts at sounding, grand and inspiring, but it's an attempt.
I mean,
It does
after the
not
sergeant's
work.
given like an actual giving the
Yeah.
orders to how everything's gonna work.
And
Oh.
I really like how you can tell the guards they're not excited about this. They're barely listening. They don't care. And then I like how the sergeant, like, he's the wingman, and he just starts clapping.
Yeah. Come on, guys, let's go.
He can tell the speech wasn't very good, but he got Cyril's back anyway.
Yeah. That was a good scene.
Yeah, that was a good
scene.
scene.
I mean, it was cringe-inducing. Like, watching it for a second time, I was like, oh, this is painful to listen to. I'm just imagining being one of those soldiers and being like, this is the guy who's coming with us.
It is a very bad speech. I would like to say Andor has a lot of good, like, monologue moments.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's got a lot of good speeches in it. Marva's speech is very good.
I really liked her speech.
Luthen's speech about his sacrifice.
That one's shorter, but it's really tactful.
Yeah,
like
I think that one's probably one of my favorite ones.
My favorite's the prison when the
Kino Loy's.
Kino, yeah. Kino's speech, because you can tell his face. He doesn't. That's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a really good speech. Andy Serkis does a great job.
He does.
He does a really good
so
job.
Good.
He's a very good actor. It makes you like thinking back to how he was used in the MCU is so disappointing.
Yeah,
But he could have been so good, and they just did nothing with him. I mean, I liked him in Age of Ultron.
I was gonna say, like, even though that movie's a little,
yeah, that's not.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked him.
You're trying to be intimidating. This is not how you do it.
Just completely threw that character out the window in Black Panther, which is not a good movie.
Okay, let's go to Star Wars. I don't want to talk about Black Panther. What are we doing?
I don't want to talk about Black Panther either, but just a shame how he was used there. It's like that's one of the things about all these projects. It's like they get like really good actors.
Oh yeah.
And they just do not use them well at all, and it's so irritating.
Yeah, but here though, like with his speech,
yeah,
like you see him, he's on the comms, he doesn't know what to say. Andor's like, come on, you do this every day, and you can tell in his face, he knows he's not gonna escape.
Yeah.
And so how is he gonna tell these people like, oh, we're gonna escape when he knows he's not gonna be able to? And Andor just keeps pushing him, and he finally does it, and it's really good. He really knows how to get people moving. Oh, but you just see it on his face. He knows he just can't go. He's stuck.
What did you think of his end as a character? I guess we're gonna take a break from Zerl for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
You mean like the very end where he says?
Yeah, like his ending as a character. What do you think? We'll talk about Kino Loy. We'll talk about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was so good. Like he's just okay. I want this shift to work like clockwork.
Right.
Because he thinks he's getting out. I forgot how many days he has left.
It was 2. I think it was like. I'm gonna throw a guess out.
Okay,
people in the comments, you can yell at me if you want.
It's not that important.
219.
219. And to him, he's close. He is almost there.
That's less than a year.
That's less than a year.
Less than a year. He's out.
Yeah, and so he wants everything to run smoothly. No one's making problems. He handles every situation that happens. He's like to the point.
He makes it very clear to Cassian that like you're not causing problems.
Yeah.
You are not slowing me down.
Like stop asking how many guards are on the deck. He doesn't even want to tolerate the answer to that. Because in his mind, he's gone. Like he's gonna be out.
He doesn't want to get into trouble.
Not at all.
He wants to take no chances. And like even though Cassian is very clear, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
They're not listening to us. They don't think we can do anything. They do not care what we say. So.
Yeah. As far as the prison goes, it's like run super efficiently.
Oh, I think the prison is super interesting.
Like, it's a lot cleaner than you would expect a prison to be, and like unlimited food. But
well, it's just bland.
It's flavorless. Bland. It's flavorless food.
It's just nutrients.
And everything's just based off of if you don't do exactly what we do at the exact point, you'll die.
Like, well, not die, but you will be.
Well, I'm like in the bed, like for the beds, you can't go anywhere. Like
yeah, that's true.
Like to the second, you're like you have to be.
Do what we say, otherwise you will suffer.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. It's not always die, but it is very bad.
With a single word, everyone knows exactly what to do. They put their hands up.
Yeah, on program.
On program.
I really liked on program.
That was so
that
good.
Was cool.
At the end, it was on program to the staff.
Yeah. It's like, of course they know what that means. Yeah. It's a good way to tell them to just put their hands on their head.
It's
and
good.
Not do anything.
It's good.
So Kino, very cool character. I liked Olaf, the old man, the prisoner
whose hands are getting bad.
And his mind is starting to go.
Yeah.
He's kind of getting senile over the arc. I like Kino's connection with Olaf, because Olaf is kind of, hopeful for him, because Olaf's the next person out. So he's invested in getting Olaf to that point.
Yep.
Keeping him up until he gets out. And I really like that his death is what kind of triggers the switch, and where Kino is like fully on board for cooperating. He's going to help Cassian get out of there.
Because he knows his chances are gone now, because it's once the doctor tells him what's
before,
happened.
He was definitively like, I'm not telling you anything.
Yeah.
I am not
he
talking
no
about
part
this. I'm not listening
any
to
trouble.
it. I don't want anything to do with you. And like, even though Cassian's like, okay, what about your last day? Last day, you tell me how many guards there are on each floor. It's like, no, I'm not
doing anything.
I'm not talking to you. It's just, I like that Olaf is what switches him there. So
that was a great end to that episode, where he just asks them how many guards are on the floor. He goes, never more than 12.
Yes.
And then I'm like, now oh man, I could not wait for the next episode, man. I was so ready.
The prison arc is so good. It's such that's probably my favorite arc. My favorite 3-episode little section.
The prison escape episode was by far my favorite episode. I don't know if the arc was. It probably was.
Yeah,
it probably was. I was gonna say maybe the heist, but I'm like, nah.
You also gotta think about what other things are going on, because it's not just the prison arc. There's other stuff with other characters like Bix and
Mon Mothma.
Yeah, Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma was an interesting character as well. Deidre.
I really liked her too.
Yeah, Deidre's cool. She's the girl that Cyril stalked a little bit.
That's so weird.
Which is that was not a great decision. Deidre Miro, that's her full name. I really liked her character.
What's her title? Is she a
supervisor?
She's
an ISB supervisor.
Yeah, and she is super ambitious, super to the point.
We probably shouldn't talk about her right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Back to.
We should probably try to keep this a little more focused, but it's like, so prison arc, really good.
Oh yeah,
really good. A lot of interesting stuff happens. I just the way the prison works. I think one thing that's really cool about the show in general is just we get to see how the Empire does things.
Yeah.
Like how it works. That's just really interesting to see.
And to me, like me watching this, I'm figuring all this along with Andor, because Andor's just plainly says, they're just using us. We're disposable.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is we're making, it's valuable enough to them to like keep it secret.
Yeah.
Like keep this thing secret.
And they're cheaper than droids and easy to replace. So there's a reason why they're not using droids instead.
Yeah.
Which I liked. And I also like how the prison is kind of like a natural extension of the other actions that happen. Like why the prison isn't letting people go.
Yeah.
It's like, I like that. That's because of kind of the robbery there.
Yeah.
I just like the logical flow that happens with the Empire's actions responding to that. Aldhani's really the biggest one, of course. That's like the first really big action the rebels make.
Yeah.
As it's referred to by Deidre, it's an announcement. So it's kind of the big hello.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. But just like throughout the series, you get to see how it all ties together. And did you see the post-credit scene?
With the Death Star?
Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
that's...
I thought that was a nice, natural way to tie them together. I didn't think that was out of place.
When I first saw it, I'm like, man, they must be like making some kind of tank or some like wheel hub or something. But then I saw like, okay, you need probably thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these things. Like
probably millions.
Millions of these things, yeah.
Maybe
like
hundreds of millions. Who knows?
So like you have like
need enough to build like something bigger than a moon. what part was it specifically? Was it just like the solar dish part, or
It was connecting some kind of
was it connecting like the laser, the indent where the laser is?
yes,
Or, okay.
yes. So reflectors of some kind. It looked
Right.
like.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but it was like a connecting point. So you'd have like
Yeah. Gotcha.
like an astronomical amount of them.
Which makes sense why
Yeah.
they're making them. I like that the Empire is using their prisons for their nefarious purposes as well. They're multitasking.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It
Makes
does.
sense.
It's just a nice little logical thing. There are a lot of those. There are a lot of those in this show.
What do you feel about the floors?
The
The
floors?
fries, yeah.
Oh, I think the floors are a really cool mechanic.
I think it was pretty smart.
Yeah.
I
think it's a really cool way to set up the prison. It's a good system, makes sense, and it's like it provides an interesting challenge to the characters. So I think it's a really good idea.
When we first see it with Andor, like him getting shocked, and like you see his arm just go down, I'm like, oh, they know how electricity works. This is really scary. I was
Wait,
because the current has to go through him.
oh,
And so it could have gone through the other leg,
right.
but just the fact that like it pulled his arm down to make a loop, like the electricity going through him.
Got you.
I was like, oh, that is so cool. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know that.
yeah, like people get shocked in like panels,
Right.
they can't pull their hand out.
Right.
Like someone else has got to like pry them out with a board or something.
I did know that. I
Yeah.
did know that if you're getting shocked, you're like stuck.
Yeah,
So-
I was like, it's freaky. It was real. I was like,
Yeah,
man, it's really cool. And also really freaky to look at.
I think it's a clever way to keep them in line.
Yeah.
Because all you got to do is have everybody else wear like boots, because none of the prisoners get shoes.
And I mean, this is just the electricity thing.
Yeah.
They're not having the floors like always having electricity flowing through them. Technically, you're not even using electricity at that moment, because the electricity is going from a place to a place. It's not being used.
Mm.
Having electricity going through a wire is not using it.
Right.
It's only when something's like having a light on is when you're actually using it.
Okay.
So, like, you're not like a prison like that. I was wow. They're not even using that much electricity on these floors.
I mean,
technically,
Even if they were, where they are, they're like in this water.
and it's all powered by
surrounded
hydro.
by water, and it's powered by hydro generators. So
Yeah.
it's like, even if they have tons of electricity just constantly being.
Yeah.
So it's like, which you would have to, if you're using it all the time. Surely there's some loss, like. Since
A minimum.
Since
It's
it's
minimal,
going
though.
through people,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I just thought it was so efficient.
It's a very
like
cool. It's
like
a
the
very
prison
cool
is run.
system.
The prison is so like designed so
Dude,
nice.
And I love how the methods they use in the prison are kind of like a microcosm, is it?
I mean, like the rewards. What do you mean?
The way the competitions.
Oh, the reward
Yes.
system
So
for the
you have
flavor and the food.
Each
and the...
floor competing against each other floor. You
Mhm.
have each room on that floor competing against each other room, and then you have each table competing against each other table. I think that's a really cool way of showing how the Empire, like one of the Empire's tactics, which is, they do a good job at showing all these like little tactics that the Empire
Yeah.
uses to get what they want. One of the Empire's tactics is making people focus on competing against each other instead of competing against them.
Yeah.
Instead of worrying about all the harm that the Empire is doing, the Empire has established rules so that way all these other groups are fighting with each other, and they're not worried about, the rules being the way they are. They're not focused on why the rules are broken. They're focused on winning the game.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's just a really cool manipulation tactic, and it also shows how with Kino, it shows how they can get regular people to enforce and uphold their system,
Mm-hmm.
to become tools of their oppression without even like realizing it. It's like they
never even because they
don't even have to
never
get
send
involved.
people in.
They don't have to, because the managers keep
They
everything.
run it themselves. Yeah.
because they want to be rewarded. They want to get out.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool and a clever way to show like the bigger tactic with like a smaller example. I just think that's really neat. Any thoughts on the prison arc? Do you?
I liked the chanting as they were the one way out.
One way out.
Oh, that
One
was
way
so
out,
good.
yeah.
I thought it was really good.
I like the little bits of characterization.
all the Imperials just hiding in closets.
Yeah, that's
because
really
they're
cool.
terrified.
Because there's a storm of people,
Like,
just flooding,
5,000 people chanting one way out,
screaming, and they've got weapons.
Yeah, they've got
They're armed. They're armed with the exact weapons you have. So it's like they outnumber you just so massively. Like, gee whiz, man. To try to fight against that would be horrifying.
Yeah, they're just cowering.
There's no way. Yeah.
The shot of the prison with like
just the people like flooding
swimming
out.
in from the 3 different sections. This is like crazy cool, man.
I forget where it was pointed out, but somebody said that the prison kind of looks like the Empire's symbol.
It is. It's shaped like it.
So when you see all the people like leaking out, it kind of provides like a visual metaphor for like all the people who are like all the rebellion that's like seeping out of the Empire, just like here and there. It's like, I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. If that is what they were going for, that is a very cool idea.
Either way, I thought it was a great shot. And
it is cool.
Like,
it looks very nice.
Going ahead to
communicates a lot.
After they've escaped, the prisoner who escapes with Andor wants to know, like, I wonder if we're the only ones that escaped. Like, people have to know, and because they don't tell us how many actually made it out of there.
I mean, there's no way that the characters would know.
Yeah.
And it would be ridiculous to try to tell us, the audience.
I still want to know, though.
I would like to know who made it out. But, like, I think it's really cool. A cool way to get him separated from Andor, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a cool, natural way to get him separated. Because, of course, somebody's got to tell people what's going on. It's like, of course, some of the prisoners...
And someone's got to do something about it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do something about it. Somebody's got to tell people. So I do like that. I think that's a really natural way to let that character go. I'm glad he didn't die.
Yeah, I was really sad. A lot of
them died. Yeah.
Some of the prisoners who died. I was like, man, I really wanted that person to escape. And
do you have anybody in particular? No. I mean, just like redhead guy.
Well, I wanted the day shift manager. What's his name?
Kino.
Yeah. Kino. I wanted him to escape. I was like, I hope we get a lot more of this guy. Honestly, I thought he was going to die. I was like, oh, that's how they're going to get him out of like the show, so he's not doing anything else. But I really liked his ending. So
I liked his ending a lot. I've heard a couple other people say they didn't like his ending.
Oh man,
but which is like I don't understand. I think it's so just like. It's such like a simple, tragic way to do it.
Yeah, he's such an inspiration to everyone else.
Yeah, he doesn't get out.
And Andor doesn't realize like what that speech was for him like until he asks him until he finds out he can't swim.
I don't even know if does he even hear him, or
he says it softly. I can't swim.
And then he
smiles and he's like. A lot louder. He goes, I can't swim, and as he goes, and Andor gets pushed over.
Yeah.
I was like,
I heard some people say like, oh well, Andor they shouldn't have let Andor get pushed over, and he should have just like came over and like helped him swim. And it's like, they were suggesting that Andor and some of the other guys could possibly help him swim all the way to shore, and it's like, you do realize they're in like the middle of like a sea.
It's hot.
It's a large body of water.
Yeah.
This is not like a little lake.
Yeah. Swimming in a pool is a lot different than swimming in an actual body of water, like an ocean.
To carry someone else all that way, and especially with people who don't know how to swim, instinctually they like flail around.
Oh yeah.
And so that's why like saving somebody who's like, drowning like that is very difficult.
Oh yeah.
Because they can easily knock you out.
It's dangerous to try to save people.
It is very dangerous to try to save someone who's drowning and just they're flailing, because you could easily get dragged under with them.
Yeah.
Like so easily.
Or get knocked out from like an arm flying around.
Even if they did like jump in together and somehow like he wasn't flailing or anything, he was just holding on. There's no way he would make it all that way. Like there's just no way they would have enough energy to drag him all the way there. I don't see that happening.
Have you ever jumped into a body of, like a lake or something from super high up?
I have not, but
the amount of time you're underwater freaks you out. Like it's scary. It's scary to jump in the water and realize I'm probably 15, 20 feet underwater at this point. I've got to get up top. Like, it's...
And it hurts, too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
If you're really high up, it'll hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
But, the pain, like, I've done that, and I'd be like, like, the moment you're not thinking about that, you're just thinking, hopefully I know what direction I'm swimming in, because it's hard to tell sideways from up. And so, like, I hope I'm going up at the fastest point, because water is really scary when you're, like, 20 feet under.
Yeah, if you're really deep underwater and you can't see, if you don't know where up is.
Okay, in Star Wars, not knowing where up is makes sense in this one particular time. Okay.
Yeah, when you're underwater, when it would make sense for, like, everything.
Okay.
Or when you're in outer space, because there isn't up in outer space. It's space. Anyway.
How did you get to outer space? I don't understand.
I don't know. You gotta go up somehow. But I don't know where that is.
I don't know how to do that. It's fine.
I don't have a window I can look out of. Even though...
Okay, let's talk about it.
Yep. Subtle sniping, Not so subtle sniping. But I liked the way Kino went out. Especially, like, if you hear, for me, there's one way out. Like, he's already, when he's talking to the other prisoners, when, like, he's, like, explaining what happened on, what was it, level 2? Level 2? And he's just like...
He's furious. He looks over at the guards and is furious. Oh.
And he's just like, he's already said, in that scene, he says, for me, there's one way out. I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's one way out. And it's like, he already knows he's not getting out. But one of the first things Andor says, which is also in his Kino speech, is, it's like, wouldn't you rather, like, go down fighting than, give them what they want? Something along those lines. I forget the exact phrasing.
Yeah, for me, that was him saying, like, I'm done being used by them.
Yeah.
Like, because he's a leader of that.
He chose to be a tool of their machine. And I think that's a really cool moment where he's just like, I'm not doing that anymore.
He's done.
Like, his one hope is gone. His hope of getting out. And it's completely gone. So, which, level 2, what happens on level 2? What kind of initiates this whole change? That's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting.
Instead of, they had a prisoner who was being released, but instead of sending him to a different prison, they accidentally
transferred him to the wrong floor.
Oh, the wrong floor, yeah.
Yeah, they transferred him to a different room the same day, and so people knew that he didn't get out. Which, like, and because of that, they killed, 100 men?
200.
200 men.
100 in each, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 200 men. Because of that mistake they made. Because they were scared of it. That's just like, oh, that's such a cool way to find out.
And it's in the episode where people are starting to freak out.
Yeah.
This information is relayed through, like, hand signals, like sign language, through, like, massive distances.
Yeah, because they
multiple times.
Because of the tubes that have, like, windows, and so you can see, like, different floors.
So information gets lost, like, through every single way. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. I'm not sure how it was started, though, because how would you establish that language? How would you establish that kind of code without being able to, like, talk to somebody and say, okay, this is what this signal means.
You'd make signals, like, and you'd point to things, and, like, over time.
Point to things.
Yeah.
Do you just
like the people?
I mean, you could easily do, like, the numbers.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily, like, figure out, like, level something or something.
Yeah.
But, like, more complicated things, I don't know exactly. I guess there is some.
Like, you'd have symbols for fried, like the floor for.
I suppose
for food,
it would be
for
very
everything.
general, and it would be very easy to misinterpret. You wouldn't have any idea if they actually know.
And that's the thing. Like, no one actually knows what happened.
That's true.
I assume it's
except for the doctor.
Yeah, the doctor.
Because the doctor, there's like a handful of people who can go between floors who actually interact with different rooms, but their interactions are very
And that's eventually
very
how they
limited.
find out.
Yes, which is a good way to do that. That was a smart way to get around that communication issue. And tie everything together. I do like that. I like that Cassian wasn't just sitting around. He was actually trying to like come up with an escape plan.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much from the beginning. Like after he gets in the groove of doing the work, he just like next episode he's already trying to figure out a way to get out.
Yep. Trying to saw through a pipe.
Yeah. What do you think of the escape plan itself?
I don't know what else he would have done. You mean like waiting till like they have a prisoner swap out, or because they weren't gonna do it before then. He just said like as soon as there's a prisoner swap out, we're gonna do it. I think it was pretty smart.
I thought it was a pretty clever plan.
You might have.
It was kind of
the only problem I have with it is like just throwing things at them to distract them. Like you might have like I was trying to think of a different way to distract the soldiers from like shooting at them.
I don't think that was intended as a distraction.
You don't think so?
I think it was more intended as just like, this is what we have. These are the weapons we have.
Okay.
Because they're metal. Like these are metal pieces. I don't think it was just to distract them. I always think it was like, we're trying to hit them and hopefully kill them. But it's like that's not super likely. But hopefully kill them or at least provide enough cover so that way someone can get up there and get a gun.
Yeah, which is how it works.
Yeah.
Which is how it works.
I am the water. What do you think about the water on the floor?
Very, very nice. It was when because not everyone was able to get on a table before they fried the floor for the first time. But then once the water is covering enough of the area that it shorts it,
Well, I mean, the water covers the area and it shorts it, but some of the floor still goes off first before it shorts the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah.
So some people do get hit, but I do like that Keto did it. And so I when they look down and they're just notice that oh, I'm still on the floor. And then I'm still alive.
Dude, the soldiers' reactions, they're just shocked, why isn't it working? They see the water, they see it's sorted out. They're still this should be working. We have no backup after this. And they're just panicked. They just start shooting. As soon as they start throwing things, they just start shooting.
Yep.
Because now they know.
Once they lose the floor, it's oh yeah, no more waiting. We're not getting control of this without shooting now. So
yeah.
So yeah. That's
I thought it was very
good arc. One more little thing I would like to point out is from the beginning of the arc.
Okay.
They do establish from the very beginning that they are short-handed. It's Cassian when he's just about to be taken into the room. The other escort, the other guard, is late because he was
on a different floor.
Yeah, he was helping with another short-handed floor. So I just want to point out subtle setup. Doesn't come out of nowhere. It's just a little piece that you need. But it's probably the one we want to go most detail into. We can be a little more general now.
Yeah. Anything else specific you want to jump to?
Well, I mean, do you just want to talk about? I mean, we haven't talked about Andor himself at all.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about Andor.
Let's talk about Andor.
Okay, we can talk about Andor.
So, thoughts on Andor?
He's pretty cool.
He's cool.
A very mystery character. We get a little bit of his childhood in the very beginning with all the kids wearing the hazmat construction.
I liked the how all of that visually communicates kind of the story. Yeah. It's those clothes are not normal for a tribal civilization to have.
Yep. Yeah.
It's you can tell that's not a normal material that they would use. So you already know, okay, that's weird. And then second, what's obviously, actually this is probably the first thing you'd notice.
Where are the parents?
Where are the parents? These are all a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
What's up with that? That's really weird. So this isn't a normal civilization.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And I think it's the second episode we see one of the flashbacks.
Yeah.
The abandoned mine.
Yeah, you see this massive mining machine. Dude, I saw a picture of one of those, a similar style machine, just ripping up Germany. like the German countryside. It's like, dude, why do they have those in Germany? What are they doing? It's like, I don't know what the context was, but it looked very similar.
Okay. Yeah, it was just a massive.
Yeah.
It just all looked black, like it had just been burned or something.
Yeah, you
like,
can tell it's not in a good state. And then there's
whatever
this
happened
huge,
there was not good.
Yeah, you can see this huge quarry, just massive.
Yeah, and later we find out that there had been a big accident and the atmosphere had been
there was like
damaged.
toxins that were released on the planet.
Yeah, and
so it's like a quarantine zone.
Yeah, the Empire abandoned it.
Yeah, it's a quarantined area. Nobody's allowed in or out. And this is actually really early. This flashback is kind of before the Empire was called the Empire.
Yeah, well, because Marva in one of those...
They refer to it as the Republic.
The Republic, yeah.
Yeah. So, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I missed that. I actually missed that detail the first time.
Yeah,
the second time I'm like, wait, this is a Republic ship technically still.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah,
okay, I like that.
Yeah, I liked the little flashback. I thought that provided a lot of character to him. A lot of background character stuff going on there.
But yeah, I do especially like the designs of like how they visually tell us what's going on, because everyone's speaking a different language. They're not speaking English for us, so so everything is just visually told to us. I think that's really cool.
I like there are not subtitles and then it's not translated like in any way.
Yeah, it's just all visually given to us.
I think movies need to be willing to do that more often.
To trust the audience
to try to communicate things without them being in English.
Yeah.
Communicate things visually, especially like war movies. It's like World War II and stuff like that, where all the Germans speak English. It's like, I can let it slide, but I mean, like, there's a lot of story potential in the like language barrier.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, it just seems like a wasted opportunity a lot of the time. I do like it here. How they didn't translate it to English. I like how that's just what it is.
Yeah. I liked it.
And I think in the flashbacks it does like a pretty good job setting up Cassian's like attitude in general, kind of like his perspective, his reaction to the death of the leader of his group.
Okay.
It's like like it quickly like turns to like you can see like hatred in his eyes.
Yeah. Everyone else is like panicked once they get
Everyone
back.
else is panicked. They're grabbing the body. They're mourning and stuff. And he's just kind of like stunned, stunned at first, like shocked, and like quickly like turning to just rage. And so he goes inside the ship. Yeah. Which is, it's like I can see him doing that based on his reaction. Like normally it's like a kid generally probably wouldn't do that. Go on the ship that their friend just died to. Yeah. Probably not, but it's like I think his reaction easily justifies that. Yeah. And that's where he meets Marva and Clem, and I like that introduction where Marva's very much like, we've got to get him out of here. They're gonna kill him. Like they killed like a Republic person. They like killed people from the Republic. The Republic's just gonna show up and kill them all. Yeah. We got to take him out. And I like that Clem points out he's got people here. But, it's like those people are going to die. I do like that that's pointed out because they don't do that sometimes.
Yeah, there's like they acknowledge there's going to be consequences and there's nothing they can really do about it.
Yeah, so they just take him.
Yeah, because Marva wants to. She's responsible for him now. She can't let him die. Yeah, she can't live with that. She says that. She can't live with that.
She says, "I can't let him die. I can't leave him here to die."
We also see the robot.
Yeah. What do you think about B? Good old B.
B, I really liked him, especially like I see him all clean in the flashback. I was like, well, that's really cool.
I like his design. I like his voice. I kind of like how he stutters too to show his age.
Yeah,
and he's got a charging port.
Yeah,
which I don't think we've seen really. I don't think we've seen that before. I don't think normal astromechs and stuff have that, so he must be a pretty old model.
Yeah. My favorite.
And he can test the atmosphere, which is,
well, duh.
Very,
That'd be a thing you'd want to have on a robot.
Imagine not having anything that can test the atmosphere and not keeping it with you. Anyways,
chimes at all of Star Wars.
Not talking about anything in particular.
I was like, my favorite line he has is when Cassian asks him, he's concerned about his power supply, but he asks him to tell a lie, to not. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where he went, and he just goes, "Oh, that was 2 lies."
That was 2 lies. Yeah, he's got a couple funny little lines.
I like him. And I know Star Wars is always iffy on like robot sentience.
Yeah,
but man,
it's not a conversation.
You feel like he's like a real person. Like
I think he fits with like the OT's standard pretty well. Where it's like a C-3PO and R2-D2. They clearly have like personality, but are they really people? Maybe
they're programmable.
We're just gonna kind of not talk about that.
Yeah,
they're more like pets, kind of.
Yeah, he is really cool. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I like him.
The first
I like most
shot
of
the planet with him is like it's just him going along.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
I like Ferrix. I think it's a pretty neat setting.
Yeah.
I do notice now that we are no longer talking about Cassie.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. Like, it's just drifted away from him.
Okay, so we did the flashbacks. We did the childhood.
Right. Well, I mean, just talk about him in general. Like, general thoughts. We don't have to go through beat by beat. You know, this is already.
Well, I'm trying to just like go through his whole arc of the season,
which is
of him
becoming a rebel. Yeah.
Yeah, because at the beginning, he's just carrying like, he killed these Imperial guards, but that wasn't necessarily because he was mad at the Empire.
Yeah.
He just wanted to get out of there, and
he doesn't like the Empire, but he's not going out of his way to fight them. He doesn't care to do that.
And then he's paid. He goes out of his way. He gets paid to do a job against the Empire, and then he's the prison arc, which turns him like hardcore against, which absolutely
pretty definitive.
The horrible things they're doing to the prisoners in there. He wasn't even arrested for the right crime, which just boggles my mind. Like.
Yeah. What do you think of his arrest? Because I've heard some criticism against that.
What kind of criticism against his arrest?
Just people thinking it's a little random.
I mean,
it's like it is kind of the point, but like, I think it's just because they're like, they're running around. There are these people who are running, and
I think the trooper that stops him, I really like that talk actually, because Andor is like trying to be calm. He's like, I don't have anything to do with this, and so he's getting exacerbated.
Right.
And then the stormtrooper is trying to draw that out of him, but you need to calm down, sir. But really, he can tell Andor is hiding something, and it's really good. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I don't really have a problem with the arrest scene. I'm not sure what exactly people are referring to when it's too random. I think it's like if you lived in like a dystopian like area, you know.
Yeah.
let's say you lived in the dystopia of China.
Okay.
It's like I don't know. I think there are plenty of reasons why you can justify them doing this. I mean, you've already seen like the corporate guard attitudes in the first episode, where they're looking for trouble. They're looking to get some extra money on the side. They're looking to harass people a little bit. It's like I could believe getting like more arrests would look good on your stormtrooper sheet. I could imagine there's a reason to do that. You know, I don't think it's too bad. I think especially like in a society like that, a government that oppressive, I don't know. I feel like those kinds of unjust arrests, especially since the they want to fill those prisons up.
Yeah, that's in my mind. Yeah. They probably have mandates.
They probably have, or at least encourage arrests.
Yeah,
because of that,
and because of what happened with the I just call it the heist.
The heist on Aldhani.
Yeah. Since Aldhani, like they've cracked down everywhere, like for everything, and crimes have been doubled.
Yeah, and you know, I really like the speech. I think the guy who gives it, I think he's a cameo. I'm not sure though, which is one thing I like about the show. Is like the cameos are really subtle, like the Gungan shield in the antique shop. It's like it's just really subtle stuff. It's not intrusive like some some shows. Mandalorian. And Boba Fett.
Okay, I was too.
All of them. Except for this one. Yeah. Especially like the one. What was the one? Did Kenobi have that cameo? No, actually, that's Rogue One that had that cameo. The cameo with the I don't like your face. That guy from A New Hope. Do you remember?
I don't like your face. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't. Like
I still don't like that.
That was a little heavy-handed. It didn't seem natural.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's that guy." And then my second time, and every other time since, I'm like, "Hey, that guy is one guy in the galaxy." That guy.
And that's pretty. Yeah, and like one of the things that Andor's good about not doing is making the galaxy feel small, because like those cameos, they make it feel small. It's like that's just like two random people, and here they are. Again, it's like there's nothing necessarily wrong with them being there. It just doesn't.
It can happen.
It can happen.
Possible.
It just makes it feel a little smaller.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like when you're in a small town, and everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
And you go to Walmart and you always see at least one person you know. It's kind of like that. Every time you go to see a Star Wars movie, you always see at least somebody you recognize before.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is, I love Andor because every
shows so much restraint.
The different shows, you've got different planets, you've got different settings, and the thing is, the TIE fighters, like all the Imperial, like the cameras, the same ones from A New Hope, are, like they're the exact same. Imperial stuff is the exact same, but the cultures, the different planets, are completely different.
Andor makes Star Wars feel like a universe.
It does.
And it hasn't felt like a universe in a long time.
Like you go to each different place and you've got completely different people, like
and
all dealing with the Empire.
All these little cultures and stuff. I've noticed we're not talking about Cassian anymore again, but that's okay. All these little cultures, like Ferrex. Like I love Ferrex. It's like there's so much set up about it so quickly. Like it's a scrapper culture. They scrap ships. Yeah. They sell ship parts. They have ship parts everywhere. Like Biggs has a ship, like sells ship parts. She like fixes up things. She sells them. There's another like specifically just like a parts store.
There's a ship. There's one for ships that Andor keeps sneaking
and there's
into.
A parts store, which is the one where the radio tower is that reaches Luthen, and like Brazo works at like a junking like area.
Like a huge
he works with a bunch of other guys as they're just tearing apart ships.
They probably didn't.
And just like stripping them for parts. And that like naturally explains why Cassian like understands ships as well as he does. It's like he's been surrounded by like this culture of like breaking them down, rebuilding them, selling them, fixing them up. Like he knows he's been in this forever. Way better. This is way more justified than Rey.
Okay, that's what you're going for. Okay.
I mean, like you think about Rey, it's like okay, she scraps stuff. She brings. Yeah, she does. She doesn't have to know what it does though.
No.
She's not fixing these things. She's just scrapping them, bringing them in. She just needs to know what's valuable and how to get it.
She doesn't even know what's valuable because she only gets 1/4 portion.
That's true. Okay. She only gets 1/4 portion.
Sorry.
But like she doesn't need to understand how it works.
Yeah.
And like this is a culture where like of course you would figure out how it works. This is what like everybody's involved in.
Yeah.
Like,
everyone.
Like, all of the main characters have their hands in like ships and like their parts and scavenging and salvaging to some degree.
Yeah. That's what makes in the heist. That's what makes him so valuable is that he's a pilot, and like he can pilot almost anything.
He can fulfill as they said in the show. He gives them critical redundancy in all areas. He can do like all of their jobs to a degree.
He's confident. He's not Lucian. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Start over. We can
Luthen says he's not afraid to kill. He can fly. He can fill any position for him, which is true. And yeah.
Critical redundancy.
Yeah,
it's very good reason why he would want Andor, and it's why he slips up and he gets Andor involved.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But Ferrex and just the little details you get baked in, your ashes get baked into a brick and you just be plopped in a wall in Ferrex. That's their funeral. It's that's cool. That's just a cool little detail. It's so unique. It adds so much personality to their culture, to Ferrex as a setting. and like the
And
anvil guy.
And it's I really
I
really like the anvil. I like the idea.
He just likes his job.
He's like, well, I can't. I
He's
don't know why
ready to
I don't
go.
know why I'm doing a pose since this is a recording. But
well, now everybody knows. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just look ridiculous here.
That's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
I'll put the clip in this one little section.
Yeah, it's. I like him a lot. I think that adds a lot of culture without, and it's just a simple change. It's like it's a bell tower, but it's a guy banging on an anvil instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. And how they bang on like all the metal things, and they just make it to let everybody know there's trouble.
Yeah. Well, like
that's such a simple
because the noise is gonna get there before the soldiers will. Like I thought that was the idea of it.
Well, I mean, it's just to let
getting the word out.
The town know there's trouble.
Yeah.
They do this like every time there's like something going down.
Yeah.
Which is like it's cool. Everybody's like just closing up shops and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think just like a cool, simple detail. And the Donnie, on Aldani, their culture.
Yeah.
It's like it's really simple but cool. Like it's focused around the eye and their like pilgrimage up there.
I feel so bad for them. Like
yeah,
you live on Aldani your entire life, and then all of a sudden the Empire comes in 10 years they've they've moved almost everyone out.
They've moved. They've moved everybody, pretty much everybody, down to like a central location.
Yeah.
And dude, I love the little manipulation here. It's so clever. It's such a clever little evil thing to do. The motivation behind it is really interesting too, because it's just like, why did they want to get rid of the Donnie? Why did they want to get rid of him? Well, they want to build an airfield. That's it.
Yeah.
They're going to systematically destroy this culture, this entire like group of people, because they want to build an airfield on their temple site. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is.
That's what they want to do. That's what they care about. And dude, just like the little manipulation where they have their own viewing festival in town, like an Empire sponsored one. They're encouraging people to go to that. On the pilgrimage, they have like specific like rest stops and amenities and stuff to try to draw them away. It's like, and it's working. And it's just like simple stuff. It's like they don't say, "Oh, you can't come." They're just saying
they're just providing so many options.
They're providing so many options, and it's like, of course, he says like the Donnie are simple people. They have trouble choosing, like something along those lines. It's like, oh, I mean, it's effective though. Instead of trying to restrict people and like say, oh, you can't do these things, you're just saying, oh, well, you could do that, but you could also do these.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very subtle way of getting people to do something else without them noticing that you're trying to restrict them from something.
Yep. I like all the tactics the Empire does in this show.
Like I said,
they're so confident, and it works so often.
Yeah.
They're blindsided to people like Andor who come
arrogance. Yeah, he's got a pretty good line about their arrogance.
Yeah. Before we don't ever see it, but Andor has this valuable part like ship tracker, and the reason he has it, he says, is because he just walked right in and just took it. Like they're so. I think the line is they're so proud, they're so fat and so proud that they don't see. They can't ever imagine.
They can't even imagine
that someone like me would come in and take it from them. Which is I liked it because that's kind of what happened in Rogue One a little bit. But
I just like it because it characterizes the Empire really well.
Yeah.
It's like they're very good at what they do, but because they're so good at what they do, they have no doubt in their mind that they're going to win. They're going to get exactly what they want, and that is exactly why they're not going to get exactly what they want.
That's
because they can't imagine failing.
The line from Empire where Luke says your confidence is your weakness, like, oh, it's so... Yeah.
Dude, it's just all, like, it all ties together.
Good writing, man. It's really great.
Nice. It's such... Oh, it's so cool. And of, like, the ISB, the way that works, and Partagaz, his speech at the opening when you're first, like, introduced to the ISB, the first meeting.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do we do here? You know, it's like explains like we're doctors. We see symptoms and we have to like diagnose the disease, and the longer it takes to diagnose it, the harder it is to treat. So it's like he's not viewing it as like a security thing. It's like they're trying to prevent rebellion as if it's like a disease.
Yeah.
It's like that's just another really good little speech.
I like the ISP.
The ISP is
they're
very
really cool.
interesting.
They're really efficient. They've all got motivations.
But they do have like a weakness too, and it's the bureaucracy, which Deidre is just like she sees that and she's trying to push through all that.
Yeah.
It's like especially with her confrontation with with everybody, the open confrontation in the council.
Yeah.
It's like with Levin's trying to call her out, and
in front of everyone, and
and she's like she's criticizing the sectors, she's criticizing the sector system, and he's like, Partagas made that system. It's like, are you criticizing my work? It's like, it's like, well, it's like rebels don't care about lines we draw on a map.
Yeah.
Do you really think rebels care about the lines we draw on a map? It's like, oh man. And I love that he's not like angry about it. He's just like, you're right, I will consider. It's like,
yeah. Because he likes her. He likes Deidre. He likes her drive.
He does like her, and I do like how it's very, they do kind of the women in the workplace thing. I guess that's kind of a silly way to put it, but it's like where you've got a woman kind of rising up in a male-dominated work environment.
Yeah.
It's like normally that's not handled very well in the modern day and age. Writers do not know how to write that well anymore. But here it's actually handled pretty well. It's very subtle. But it is very clear why she's different. It's like there's a program trying to encourage people like her to come up, and it's like there's no other girls in the office. It's like, okay, yeah, I know why. But it's very subtle and well done. And I like how afterwards he's like, well done, watch your back. It's like, oh man, because the workplace
he just wants the job to get done, and he sees her as like one of the best people to do that, and but he knows people are after her.
He sees her as very efficient. He sees a lot of potential in her, but the workplace politics are really the big weakness of the ISB. Which I think that's a pretty interesting and natural way to kind of limit them and characterize them, I guess.
Yeah.
But very cool stuff. Very, very cool stuff. And it just makes Star Wars feel so much more fleshed out as like a universe.
Yeah. Well, it makes the bad guys feel like real.
Intimidating.
Yeah.
I love how TIE fighters are treated as like a big deal.
When they're on their hike to the base, and Andor hears a TIE fighter and it's so faint in the background, and they just hide right away, and then you hear the screech I almost
forgot
good.
how good of sound design that is. That scream, the TIE fighter
screech,
scream.
Yeah.
It's really intimidating.
It is.
Especially if you're just a person, you're walking around, and you hear that, that's got to be terrifying. It's like I love.
Unless you're Rey, then you can run and. I'm sorry.
Unless of course you're living in the sequel era, then you're totally fine. You can just jump over it like leapfrog. Who cares?
He wasn't trying to kill her.
He wasn't trying to kill her. He was just trying to hit her with her car.
At 180 mile an hour.
Ma'am, I wasn't trying to kill you. I just wanted to hit you with my car. Calm down.
I thought you were going to flip over it.
Anyways, enough sniping, even though it's funny.
It's funny.
I like doing it, but still. Anyway, so, like I said, I like how the how things in the Empire are treated as serious threats, like stormtroopers. That's a big deal. I like how that's treated as a serious threat.
Yeah.
What is his name? Terraman? The ex-stormtrooper.
Oh yeah,
Terraman. Yeah, Terraman. He was a stormtrooper. It's that's kind of an intimidating thing too. It's it has the emotional weight behind it because that was the enemy.
Yeah.
But also, it's stormtroopers are good at their jobs in this. They're actually somewhat intimidating. It's they treated more seriously, which they just never are anymore, which is a shame because they're the main threat. It's if your main threat is a joke,
it doesn't quite work.
It's gonna mess up your stakes. there's not gonna be a lot of conflict or tension about, oh, are they gonna get? Yeah, because stormtroopers are stupid. That's why they're gonna.
They
win.
can't even hit cans.
They can't even hit cans on the ground. Thanks, Taika.
That was sad. That was really sad.
That was.
I remember watching that. That was painful.
I can't believe he's getting a trilogy. But everybody is, so who cares? Who cares anyway?
Not me.
I'm not watching it. Anyways, I just I think it's really cool that they're pointing out like these are like legitimate threats. Even the officers haven't been like devalued as much, but they've still been devalued a little bit as kind of intimidating threats, especially in the sequels. Like Hux is a very good example of the bad things they've done.
Remember the guy who asked Kylo a completely legitimate question,
yes,
and then he just throws him to the ceiling, like,
yep.
What are we gonna get? What is he asking for in return?
Yeah, what is he
throws
asking
him
for
to
in
the
return?
ceiling?
Shut up! I don't care. I don't want to think about that.
That's legitimately what like he asked a complete legitimate question.
It was totally reasonable. It was totally in line. Like, why?
What are those guys there for if they're not like?
All right, guys, here's what we're gonna do, and if you say anything, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, okay, thanks, Kylo. Kylo's such a petulant little baby. It's so stupid. It's like a toddler. Anyway. Yeah, that was what I wanted to point out.
That's okay. Well, I was gonna go towards Andor at the very end. Do you think him coming back, like, to the planet was a good move? Like, that makes sense for him?
I think it's in character for him to come back.
Okay, because
his connection with Marva is pretty tight.
Yeah,
especially since he wants to talk to her.
Well, he knows she's dead before he goes.
Right.
And so that's why I asked.
You're right.
Sorry. Because
I forget that for a second.
In my mind, I'm like, okay, like he knows like the presence the Empire has there now.
Right.
And they know they're after him.
But
he wouldn't you expect them to like catch you in the ship?
He wanted to talk to her, remember? So
yeah.
He's feeling a lot of guilt about what happened, about what he last said to her.
Yeah.
So I do believe that is like the main motivator as to why he comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because like when he first sees Brazo, that's what he's talking about.
But like my main criticism is like if he's trying to get there, he's got to think that there's a huge possibility the Empire is going to stop him before he even lands on the planet.
Probably.
But the reason they don't is because they want him to land on the planet. They're not monitoring the skies, so they want him to land there. They want to capture him alive.
But he also wants to meet up with Luthen.
Yes, he does.
So he knows Luthen, or he at least suspects Luthen is trying to.
Yeah, which I that's the reason I'm like more so okay with it, just because that's the reason he mainly wants to go there.
I think there are two reasons. I think those are both pretty high up on his list. I don't know if one necessarily beats out the other. Because the guilt thing is pretty
guilt,
big.
like but he could wait till after, like.
Yeah, that would be the smart thing
be safer,
to do,
but it makes sense to me. Like he's going there because he wants.
But again, to it's like he is very motivated by his emotions. You know, like back in the flashback, it's like, well, probably not the smartest thing to do to go inside that ship, but
yeah,
it turned out it was. But you know, it's like logically speaking, it wasn't. But like, you know, he's feeling a lot of heavy stuff right now.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm fine with him going back. I don't see that as out of character at all. So I'm cool with it. Probably not the wisest decision, but still, you know, it's in character.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up and talk about it.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I really do like Cassian's arc, despite how distracted we keep getting from it.
It's really good. It's really good.
He's not my favorite character.
Who's your favorite character?
Oh. We haven't talked about him yet. It's probably Luthen.
Really? Okay.
Probably. I find him very interesting.
You know who mine is?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't have one.
I mean, I was gonna ask eventually, but you know.
Okay. All right. Not talking about yours. So let's go.
Well, I mean, I was still talking about Cassian, but we'll talk about Luthen later.
Okay.
Poor Cassian keeps getting the short end of the stick.
It's not like it's his show.
It's like, I don't dislike him. I like him. It's just, you know, there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Like, man, this is gonna be long, man. That's
I
all
don't
right.
care.
I mean, I'm not editing it, so my workload's gonna be the same either way. Sorry. So Cassian's arc is really good. I really do enjoy it. I think his one interaction with Nimic, where Nimic is like criticizing him. So, oh, you're just gonna look up, you're gonna smile and be grateful for what the Empire has given you, and it's like, do I look grateful to you, or thankful, whatever? It's like, oh man, that is such just like a perfect little microcosm of where he's at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, he's obviously not happy where things are, but
No.
it's not his problem. He doesn't think he can do anything about it. He doesn't see that as like a possibility.
Yeah, I see him as like a really really tragic character at the beginning, and he gets a little more hopeful through
as he
Andor.
goes.
Yeah.
And he, you know, like the first season is about him like getting that spark of rebellion lit.
Yeah.
And of course Marva's one of the things that like pushes him over, but you know, the big push is the prison arc. That's the final straw. But I really like so, you know, Luthen, when he's recruiting him, he's like, wouldn't you rather, you know, give it all at once to take something like worthwhile? I forget the exact quote, but it's a really good line. You know, it's like, you want to give everything at once and take something worthwhile, or do you want to like carve off worthless pieces until there's nothing left? It's like, oh man. And then he, you know, the line with Kino, and he comes at Kino and he's like, wouldn't you rather like go down fighting to take something other than, you know, like die giving them what they want?
Which means a lot. Yeah. That's really, it's a good line at that moment for him too.
Yeah, it's like, you can see the shift. It's like he was where Kino was, and so it ties together. So, you know, now he's kind of where Luthen is to a degree. You know, it's like he's saying those words to Kino that Kino needs to hear.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Just that nice little, oh, everything's coming together. Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I can put that up. Okay.
Thank you. Be like every Twitch streamer. Editor. Editor,
that's me. I'm hurting myself. Oh no.
Editor, please put a picture of Panda on screen. Thank you.
Of what?
A panda. I don't know.
Panda. Okay. I can do that.
You don't have to. You can cut all this out. I don't care. I'm gonna stay that
Depends
on.
on how I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah. Anyways, Andor's pretty good. I think that's kind of the broad thing I wanted to talk about for him. But
where's he gonna go next?
Where's he gonna go next? I don't know. I look forward to seeing it. I think he's gonna end up pretty well. I mean, we know where he's gonna end up.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
In Rogue One, but it'll be pretty interesting to see exactly how he gets there.
You think him and Luthen are gonna stay together for more things, or?
I don't know how long they're gonna be together. Probably going to. Luthen's probably going to give him some jobs to do.
Yeah, that's what I think. He's just going to be kind of like a right hand man, or his hand,
another agent.
Yeah,
like kind of like Mon Mothma and her sister. Well, you know, it's like probably something along those lines. Since he knows who Luthen is, he's probably automatically going to be a little higher up, in terms of like little helpers, little rebel buddies. I guess it's probably not what Luthen would call them, but you know.
If there was analogy, if there was an Andor chess set, he would be if Luthen Luthen's the player. Andor's like the queen. Okay, he's the.
No, I don't know about the queen. He's probably further down than that. I don't know who.
Well, who would be the queen?
I don't know, but it's probably not Andor.
I'm just saying, like, he's the one he uses all the time. Like, that's going forward.
Maybe. I don't think he's gonna start off at that point. Like, I don't know. I really like how kind of everybody's got kind of a role. Luthen's got everybody in like a good spot for their abilities. Yeah. I really like the agent who's been in deep cover for like 6 years.
Yeah.
Just normally working his way up through the ISB. That was such a cool reveal. And I love the one thing I love in general about the show is just like the covert, like all the little covert stuff they do, like, all the code and the like how they arrange meetings, and the way he arranges the meeting is with like chalk marks of chalk on the ground, and like that's the same way Vel like set up her meeting was with chalk on the ground. It's like chalk on the ground, rails out of place, stuff like that. It's like super simple, and it's like, oh man, that's really good, really good. Just a random elevator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's like a comm up there, like just out of reach. It's just like nobody's gonna find that. And there's even a code for, if there's a trap, he hits different numbers.
Yeah.
To take him somewhere else. It's like, oh man, I just love all those little things. But that leads into Luthen's speech, which is a really good scene.
Yeah.
Really good scene.
It is good. The guy, the agent wants to back out. He's got a family. That's what it is. He's had a daughter.
Yeah, he's had a daughter in the past year, and he wants to back out. So he's trying to give Luthen like a bunch of information to part. Luthen's like, you think you can just give me a gift basket and walk away?
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting none of this.
He's not necessarily threatening him, but he's plainly telling him the situation. Like he's too far.
What were you going to tell the ISB? It was like, health complications. I have another job offer with my family. It's like, well, they're not going to let you walk away either.
No.
I mean, like, it's like any spy organization like that. They're not going to just let you walk away like that.
No.
That's not how that works.
That's not how it works.
When you know information, you don't get let go. That's not how it works.
Nope. It's probably not good. He's probably not going to have a good ending, I assume.
I don't think he's going to end up with a happy ending. I think he's probably going to die.
Most likely.
He's not in a good position. It's kind of between a rock and a hard place. And then, the Krieger sacrifice and stuff. That's great too. But we'll talk about that when we talk about Luthen. Any last thoughts on like Andor or?
No.
No. How would you like rank him in terms of like character, like just a general sense, like how high up there is he for you on your like character list?
I mean, like out of all the characters in the show.
Yes.
Or
not all the characters of all time, Nathan. Don't worry about that.
Okay. That would be an easier scale, to be honest, because characters of all time, like, I would put him probably like a 7. Like I wouldn't.
Like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's like a good character.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that
most,
relative?
like he would be higher. Well, I don't know. It's just I think of him. The story is using him rather than like we're not seeing. I don't want to say we're not seeing him go through things because that we are.
Yeah.
That's the story. But like his situations are changing him, and just like the all the other characters, it seems like at any particular moment are working harder to change than he is. But I do like the slow turn.
I do think he's like reluctant to change. I don't think he's looking to change. So just by extension, because of that, he's not going to change. Like he's not going to be as quickly changed.
Yeah. But like totally understandably, like the prison, like
oh yeah,
like that would
I think that accelerates.
That would get anybody
vastly, yeah. Which is good.
Which is good.
It's good. It's a good arc. It's good position. A lot of little lines of dialogue in that I really like. Like I'm dead. I'm pretending to be dead. I like that one a lot. And then later, there's a guy who's like, I thought you were already dead.
I thought you were already dead.
When he starts getting scared, it's like, yeah.
I lied.
Okay. Pretty good. So Andor he's probably like upper mid tier for me.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
I think there are just other characters that I find more interesting. What are some characters you might like rate above him, like as far as interest goes?
Like interest goes?
Yeah, interest. I'm not asking for an objective rating.
Honestly, like the character I would like I'm the most is the lieutenant from the heist. Who's
Gorn?
Gorn.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty interesting.
Because like almost every line of dialogue he has to manipulate the Empire, like
I like Gorn a lot. Gorn gets a special shout out.
He is so like
yeah,
and like the motivation we get for him just really off. Like Andor asked about him.
Oh, it's so simple.
And he so fell in love with a local Aldani and she died.
Yeah, Donnie.
And then the Empire like like because of the Empire she died.
Yeah.
And now he's just completely turned around. The line where his commanding officer says like you'll be hanged like for this, and he says, well, 7 years serving you, I deserve worse.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
And to be honest, like every scene with him, I was like, I want more.
I really love the scenes with him specifically at the like doing his regular job
at the base.
You can see why he does not like the Empire. Like all these little things. Like he respects the Donnie. He fell in love with one of the Donnie's women. You know, it's like the woman he loved was Donnie, but like everything the Empire has for the Donnie is like disrespect and manipulation.
Yeah,
they take their temple, they use it for shooting practice. They have trash and just junk piled all over it.
They don't care about their customs with like the exchanging of goats. It's just like no one cares about it at all.
It's stinky. It's gross.
They
think the Donnie are disgusting in general. One of the like clearest parts for this like characterization is when he's talking to the air traffic control guy, and he's just like, over 100. Could you imagine? There used to be like thousands. Could you imagine the smell? It's like, yes, I can. And it's like he obviously is thinking about it in a very different way.
Yeah.
Much more positive way. But you can tell like the Empire they do not like these people. They do not care about them. Just a nuisance.
He's probably the character, or I would love to see like his character arc from where he was with the Empire, in his romance, the fall, and then the betrayal. Like
I do hope we get more Empire defectors going forward. I think that would be really interesting to explore to a larger degree. I think Gorn is great as far as we get him. I think for what little we have of Taramyn,
he was really cool.
Cool.
Like he was okay, but when it was like when we were told that he was like a defective stormtrooper, I was like, oh man, now I am like on the edge of my seat, want to hear everything he says.
Right. Yeah. I like a lot of the premises, and it's like the fact that stormtroopers killed Cinta's family, like her reaction, that would have been like, that would have been really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like just having defectors involved, like that's such a cool idea, and I hope they revisit it with some more detail.
They should make like a main character in a movie.
Yeah, they should make a main character a defecting stormtrooper in a film. That would be great. It's almost like they should have done that instead of not just ignoring it completely. Sequels are great movies, everybody. They're just wonderful. Liar.
Well, okay, I wasn't gonna say. I was just gonna put the clip up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You can still cut it out. Like,
I think I will. I'm just gonna have mine.
Okay, good.
And you won't even know it.
I mean, No, I won't. I was gonna say I'll remember. I probably won't. So, anyways. Nimic School. I don't want to go into detail on all the minor characters. They're all pretty good. Any characters you don't like?
No, not really.
No, okay.
Not really.
I'm not the biggest fan of Vel. I don't really like her personality very much.
Really?
No, not really.
I think
I'm not crazy about it. Cyntha's fine. I'm not crazy about her character either. I think she's a little more interesting to me, but
the first episode with Vel, like when she has to take Andor in, I liked all that conversation with her and Andor. Like,
I think that was the most interesting part.
Yeah. After that, not so much, but especially in the first episode, I thought she was.
Yeah.
I was really interested to see her dynamic.
I wasn't crazy about her being related to Mon Mothma. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
To be honest, I watched it the first time and I was like, oh, so they're not actually related. It's just a cover. And then I'm like, that's stupid, Nathan. They gotta be. Because obviously people would know that they're not.
Yeah.
So
it's not really an easy thing to fake.
Yeah, a political figure. Yeah. I have a long lost cousin over here.
By the way, here's my cousin, who's also a highly highly notable political figure. Oh, you've never heard of her? Well, that's just because that's your problem. She's always been here.
I felt like an idiot. I'm like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
No, that doesn't. I'm just not. I'm not sure.
I just didn't expect her to be.
I don't know. I didn't think it. I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about it. I don't think it added that much. Maybe they'll do more with that in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I think I do like the one thing where Mon Mothma gets to confide in somebody. I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure Vel is the best person to I don't know. I don't find her very interesting. In general.
Okay.
But
yeah,
that's more of a subjective thing, anyways.
So. What about Mon Mothma?
Mon Mothma? I like Mon Mothma a lot.
I wasn't as invested in her part of the story as I thought
You thought you'd be?
Yeah, because at the beginning I was like, oh, let's go. I'm so excited. Her sneaking into to talk to Luthen, and I'm like, okay, what are they gonna talk about? Oh, finances. Okay, yeah, I guess that's cool. And then
I mean, it's really important.
It is.
I think it's a really important question to answer. Is where are they getting the money?
Yeah.
And how are they keeping that covered up and stuff? I think that's a really interesting avenue to explore. Yeah. I know,
I liked more of the family stuff, to be honest.
I do think the family stuff is
I liked it more than the money.
I don't know. I really liked Mon Mothma.
Okay.
I liked all of it though. Mon Mothma, her life has got to be so hard.
Oh yeah.
So hard. She's got a husband who they do not get along at all. They're diametrically opposed.
Well,
he's just there to have fun and goof off.
Oh yeah.
She is very serious about her job.
You can tell she gets into her cab and she just opens up her coat and you can tell she's just dead. She's tired of acting. Right. All the weight that's on her every interaction she has.
Yeah, and always everyone is listening to her.
The new driver.
There's a new driver. She goes to the bank. They're all new faces. I love that line.
That's such a good line. Dude, it is.
Can you imagine? That would be so scary. You just go to a normal establishment. Everybody's new. You do not recognize anybody. It's that would be terrifying. You go there. It's just why is everyone gone? That's so weird. Yeah. It's so unsettling. That would be a really cool thing to do in a dystopian movie, just to see that happen from the character's perspective. But that's a different story. This one is a good story too. But I really feel for her. And the Senate, how the Senate is empty. There's so few. Yeah. There's so many empty seats in the Senate now. And she's just talking, and nobody's
people
listening.
Leave. No one cares.
As
no one cares.
Cassian once said, nobody's listening. It's that's the Senate. I forget exactly what her one line was, but she has this very high perspective of the Senate. To her, she compares it to a temple.
Yeah.
She has so much respect, and she thinks it's so important. Nobody else does. None of the other senators care.
Yeah.
The other senators don't care. Her husband doesn't care. He just thinks she's a drag. She's just horribly unfun. It's
this is the fun side of the table.
Yeah, and she's constantly got pressure from her, her daughter as well.
I like the stuff with her daughter.
Just does not like her at all. She thinks everything she's doing, if she wants to take her to school, that's performative. It's her daughter is clearly more fond of her father than she is of the mother, Mon Mothma. It's that would be so tough. All you want to do is take your kid to school, and it's you don't have to. I don't want you to. It's what do you mean you don't want me to? It's I've planned this out so I could do this to you. I wanted to take you to school. It's I don't want you to. You're just showing off.
I found that sad.
Yeah, it's really sad, and it sounds like something that could happen. That definitely
absolutely.
Feels like a tense. And dude, the fact that she has to participate in the Chandrilan traditions that put her in this arranged marriage that she's miserable with. She does not like her husband at all.
No.
And he does not like her very much either. She's got to do that to get out of the banking troubles.
Yeah.
The money troubles.
Yeah.
For
I felt
rebellion.
so bad. I'm
she's got to arrange the meeting.
Yeah, when he presents that offer to her, like, yeah, just arrange this meeting with.
It's
my,
not
with
an
my
engagement.
son.
I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for a meeting.
I'm like, oh, she is not going to be about that.
No, she shuts him down, and then I love that she's like, I'm not thinking about it, and he's like, that's the
worst thing.
That is the first untrue thing you've said so far.
Oh, I love that line.
Like,
There's so many good lines.
Yes, there are a lot of good lines, a lot of good speeches, a lot of good lines. It's a good show. It's a really good show. I really like it. Big recommend. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, after a few hours of talking about it now, we like this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mon Mothma's really interesting. I don't know. I thought her storyline was pretty interesting too. Just trying to figure out how to get the money around, and the fact that because the Empire's cracking down, that makes it worse.
Yeah, she is.
It's better for the.
She knows she's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
In fact, she finds out she's in even more trouble than she thought.
Yeah. By asking for help, she's like,
getting help
she's
from
realized
her friend,
in trouble.
Her friend, the banker. Yeah, it's like, oh man, and I love how she finds out. She finds out that he's like trustworthy too, where he's like, my politics might be
not to your liking. Yeah,
my politics might be a bit too strong for your taste. It's like, oh man, it's because he thinks she's involved in Coruscant very heavily, and he's meeting up with her for the first time again at this big old party.
Yeah,
all these senators, and it's like, oh, I can't imagine living like this. It's like, he's clearly not crazy about it. Yeah. Just like, I love how natural the progression is to like, I was wondering how I could trust you all day. Like, it's like, now I know. It's like, now I know.
Yeah.
And I love how she ends it with like, or my politics a bit too strong for your taste. I love how she just like slaps it back at him. It's like, oh man, it's so good. I think the actress does a really good job.
I think
everybody does a really good job. Andy Serkis is big
top
highlight
notch.
Though. Andy Serkis does a really, really good job. I think his name is Stellan Skarsgård, is Luthen's actor. He does a great job as well. Big highlight there. And Diego Luna, I think that's Cassian's actor's name.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong, you can edit this out.
Okay. I won't even check it. So.
Anyways, they are like particular highlights for me. Big thumbs up. And Bix. Bix's actress.
Bix is good.
Bix's actress is. I like Bix. You want to talk about Bix?
I do. I kind of want to talk about her
later, or.
No, like her. There's a situation that I really want to talk about with a different side character.
Oh, you want to talk about Tim?
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
Okay.
Tim
is the one. Tim is the one.
Yeah.
He's the reason Andor's in as big as trouble as he is.
Yeah.
Really.
And I'm not crazy about Tim.
Well, you're not?
No.
Oh, I really like him.
You really do?
I really do.
Really?
Especially when she comes over, like after he knows she's talking with Andor, he's just turned him in. Bix comes over, and after she said she had something else to do, so after she's taking care of Andor, she comes to him, sleeps with him, and then the next morning she goes out to do something else, like to cover up for Andor, and you just see him like he wants to be with her, but also he's awake looking at her, because like she has no idea what she's doing to him, but he thinks he's being used as a cover, and I feel so bad for him.
Well, what do you mean as a cover?
Like he can tell, like she's covering for Andor. Andor's obviously does something bad, and she's using him.
No. He thought she was cheating on him with Andor.
That's what I'm like. Yeah. He thinks he's being used. Like.
Yeah.
Like he thinks that she doesn't know. I don't know. I was really happy when he was.
He thinks she's cheating on him with Andor. That's pretty much it. Which is not. I'm not crazy about that being the motivation for why he turns Andor in.
I thought he was protecting her. I thought he was protecting Vix. He did not want her to be involved in whatever he was involved.
See, I don't think he knew that Andor was involved in anything. I don't think he had enough context to know until the criminal thing, I guess. But I thought he was just using that as an opportunity to get rid of Andor.
I think he's getting rid of Andor to protect her, so she won't be involved in anything shady.
That is a much more charitable interpretation, and I can see why you would like Tim a lot better with that interpretation. So,
I just felt so bad for him because of the position he's in.
I do feel bad for him.
He feels manipulated because his girlfriend he thinks she's cheating on him with Andor, and then coming to him and trying to cover it up, like trying to act like nothing's wrong. And when she wakes up and he's just sitting there staring at him, like I couldn't sleep all night because he feels like he's being manipulated by her.
See, I didn't know. I didn't interpret it that way. I thought he was thinking about what he did to Andor after that.
I think he's trying to figure out he wants to be with her, but also
I just didn't get that at all.
Okay.
If that's the case, I would like that to be much clearer, because right now, especially since the explicit thing is like, oh, he thought you were cheating. He thought you and Vix were back together. That was the explicit line, as the explanation, and it's like, I don't think Tim's a very good guy if that's the case, because it's like,
I think he was just trying to be protective of Vix. Let
me finish. Let me finish my interpretation, which is what seems to be the more general one.
Okay.
From at least the discussions I've seen. Bix, so he thinks that Bix and Cassian are back together.
Mm-hmm.
He's being cheated on, and out of jealousy, because he loves Bix. He wants to be with her. He tries to get rid of Cassian by turning him into the authorities. He's a little drunk at the time, but it's like, essentially he is willing to completely condemn a man to prison at best, death at worst, because he's jealous. It's like, that's not a great thing to do. That's pretty petty. Like, you could just confront them and not, you could just ask, hey, like, I'm kind of worried about it.
Yeah, but in my mind, he's doing that to protect Vix.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Okay.
I didn't get that at all. But like, from my perspective, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
You ruin someone's life because you think maybe there's something going on. You don't have any concrete proof either. It's like you haven't talked about it. I don't know. It's just, it's not a great thing to do. It's a little extreme. And maybe I would feel a little better about it if it were set up more, or if your your interpretation was better established,
more rooted,
or more explicit.
Yeah, I liked his ending too. I
would like it a little better if they changed it a little bit.
What do you mean?
How he dies when he's
Bix is handcuffed to the wall.
Right, and he comes around and he's like, Bix, what are you doing to her? And he's running at them at first, and then he gets shouted, stop. He stops, and then he goes again.
Well, I like that.
I think
like that. He's coming. I tell him to stop. He put the guns up. He goes a little further. I think he realizes they're not going to shoot me. Like, they shouldn't shoot me, which they shouldn't have. Like,
no, they shouldn't have.
And so he
Well, I mean, then again, it's like he was charging them, so it's like, okay.
Well, he didn't have a weapon of any kind. He was going towards her.
Not
like, they shouldn't have stopped. They shouldn't have shot him.
No, I don't think they should have shot him.
I think he was perfectly reasonable, to assume that they shouldn't have shot him.
Isn't that why one of the guards gets sent back to the ship? Is because
he shot.
He shot a civilian, and B, they need to get out of Dodge.
Yeah. So, that was a mistake. They should not have done that.
That was a bad thing to do, obviously.
And so I don't think it was unreasonable for him to come in there.
I don't think it was unreasonable for him to come in there. I just don't like that he hesitates and then goes again. I
think he's just trying to see whether they're actually going to shoot him or not. And then he realizes they're not going to.
I didn't get that.
Okay. All right. Okay. I thought it was. I
think you could justify that, but right now I don't think it's explicit enough. That's too much inside the character's head, which we just do not know.
Okay.
It's like there's no way to know that for sure right now. I wish there was something that would make that a little clearer if that was the case, but I would have preferred it if he was overcome with emotion and just kept going, and that's why.
I liked it. I don't know. I liked it because he was overcome with emotion.
He initially stops when he first sees her, and then he goes and he keeps going. But
Well, he stops because they put up their guns.
I know.
And
I just don't.
And he
It's just
if
kind of
if they knew they were gonna shoot, he wouldn't have gone. But because he was so confident, oh, they're not gonna shoot me, I can get to her. And
I don't know. I think that's still a pretty stupid thing to do. If a policeman like holds a gun up to you, like points a gun at you and says stop, you stop. You don't go. It's like, yeah, even if you're like, I'm unarmed, he's got no reason to shoot me, he shouldn't shoot me. It's like, if you're charging at like an armed person, it is a distinct possibility that you would get shot.
It is a possibility. I don't know. I liked it though. I liked it.
I'm not crazy about it.
Okay.
I think it's a little. I don't think it's the greatest way to go. I think he's not making the wisest decision.
I particularly like it because he's undone himself. Like, they wouldn't be there unless
I'm fine.
If he didn't turn Andor in.
I'm fine with that aspect.
And he's the one civilian out of who gets it.
I would like to clarify. I am totally fine with him being done in by the guards.
Yeah.
And being done in because he's trying to get to Bix.
Mm-hmm.
I am totally okay with that. It's just I don't like that he charges after stopping and like thinking for a moment.
Yeah.
After they said stop and they pointed the guns at him and they stopped. It's like, I don't like him charging again. I wish it was just like, or if there was like a hesitation, it was very brief. I wish it was just the emotion had overcome him too much, that he wasn't thinking clearly, and that would make it a little more justified in my perspective. But or if they
can have that opinion. That's fine.
If they made yours a little more explicit, a little better setup, then that would be fine too. But I just not happy with it where it is right now.
Okay.
I'm not crazy about it. It's not that big a deal, but it's not my favorite. I'm not crazy about Tim in general. I think his name is pretty bland.
It is. It is.
It's a little bland for Star Wars, but I mean, I guess.
But I liked him.
Yes, Luke is pretty normal too. So I mean, it's not that big a deal.
Han Solo, Ben Kenobi, those
are
better names.
Either they commit to Tim with a regular old TIM, or they have it be a different name, because TIMM is silly. Stop it. You can't make a sci-fi name just by tagging on an extra letter that doesn't make any noise. Stop it.
No, it's the first one. They made the first Tim silent, and the second one actually makes the noise.
His real name is Tim. The second Tim is silent. You can't do that. So, what other characters do you want to talk about? We haven't talked about Luthen or his assistant yet. We haven't talked about
Luthen's cool.
Razzo or Bix or Marva.
Oh, Marva's really cool.
Really
I really like
Marva.
Marva. Okay.
Marva, yeah. Marva.
Especially at her speech at the end, man.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a good lady.
Oh yeah.
She's a good lady.
Like, we already talked about the decision of her saving Andor at the beginning.
She saved
really
Cassian.
Good. Really good.
She saved Cassian from death, certain death.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good lady. She was heavily involved in her local community. She was a leader of the Daughters of Ferrix.
She was a leader?
She was a president.
Oh, really?
For a time, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why she gets such a big send-off. She was very involved in the local community.
Yeah.
She definitely cared about Ferrix a great deal.
Oh yeah.
Which is just a nice little piece of characterization.
Oh yeah.
She likes where she lives.
And she really cares about Andor. Like, when she hears the report, like,
I love
she is like wants to know who sold him out. Well,
right.
Like, because she's been lying about his origin for forever. So.
Yeah, I love their relationship. Like, I really like it. You know, I like the confrontation, as you said. It's like, what's the other planet? They said, you know, she's basically saying, like, we've always said this planet, we've never said Kenari. Who did you tell? I've worried about your women.
The women. She lists like 4 or 5.
Yeah, she's just listing the women. It's like,
that's not good, man.
Yeah, I like their little fight. I don't know. I think they have a really good dynamic. And the actress, she does a really good job.
She does.
Like, everybody in the show does a pretty good job, but like, she does above and beyond. Like, I think her performance is easily like one of the best. It's probably top 3.
Yeah, maybe, I would say that.
Maybe the first. I don't know.
No.
Okay, who's first?
Andy Serkis.
Oh, that's a pretty good choice. That's a pretty good choice.
It's pretty obvious.
I think it's either Andy Serkis, Marva's actress, or Stellan Skarsgård, Luthen.
Okay.
I think it's probably one of them.
Luthen's is pretty.
Luthen is really strong.
good.
Really, Luthen's a great character. He's one of my favorites. He is my favorite. I've already said
It's
that.
one of my favorites. Oh, I already committed.
He's one of my favorites. A number one.
It can't change. It has to stay the same.
Yeah. I cannot change my opinion. That's impossible. This is the internet. People don't do that. Yeah, Marva's great. I've lost my thought. My brain is dead.
She's a very, like you said, she's a very influential character.
Right.
To
Very
the
influential
community.
in her community.
When the soldiers come into the house, like when they come out, everyone is around it.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
Marva's just an old lady. What are you doing?
yeah, like they are mad. Like,
just serving a warrant. Just serving a warrant. That's all we're doing.
everyone is up in arms. Like, and that goes to show like later like how much a big deal it is that she's gone.
Oh yeah. And like, Bix comes by to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Brazo's taking care of her. They're kind of filling in for Cassian because he's disappeared. He's had to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the daughters of Ferrix are coming by to take care of her. It's like it's very clear that the impact she's had,
Mm-hmm.
even just by the people who care about her.
And it's so sad when she's like when she's gone. It's like so sad.
It's pretty sad.
Oh, man.
He's just sitting by her chair.
Oh, I
Just
want
shaking.
Marva. I like.
Yeah.
So sad, man.
He's a good little robot. He's a good little droid. Poor guy. Just charging all day because he doesn't want to leave. Yeah. Just.
Do you think she knew what her speech like that would cause a riot at the end?
I think she was hoping that it would cause something.
Okay.
I think that was clearly her reaction was to incite something.
Yeah.
Of some kind. And the fact that she was like inspired by Aldani and she becomes like a rebel.
Mm-hmm.
Or she tries to.
Yeah.
Tries to like open the old sewer grate and like tries to open the floodgate water system, whatever.
Try to see if she can get under
Yeah.
the hotel. Yeah.
Try to see if she can get the rebels in there, and when they take them out, it's like, oh, man, like just little things, and the fact that she's like, when she realizes how sick she is, she's not taking her medicine or anything.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's so tough.
Yeah. I really like everything we get with her. Really.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't change like any of it.
And man, everyone in the show cares so much for her, and I just want to contrast that with Leia and the rest of Skywalker, where no one gave a crap.
Yep, she died, and everybody was just like, oh well.
Chewbacca was like, oh no, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep. Here, the entire town shows up for a funeral.
Yeah.
And that procession.
The slow march.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
I love how they started. They started at the time they originally wanted to. Like they said what time they wanted it at. The Empire pushed it back a couple hours, and then when it comes time for the actual,
they just do it. Anyway.
They do it anyway. Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
They're limited to the amount of people, but
everyone just shows up.
Even if they're not allowed in the square, everybody shows up anyways.
Yeah.
It's like
the Empire is like rushing the troops out there to form a line.
Yeah,
like
they're very concerned because of the music and stuff. They were clearly not expecting it.
And I love the music so much.
I think the whole show has like great music throughout.
Oh yeah.
I think it is really solid.
Yeah.
Especially the theme. How if you put it together, somebody did this.
You put the themes from all the episodes.
Yeah, it makes like one like chorus. And it's like all these voices are joining together in rebellion is what some people compared it to. It's like that's really cool. This is a nice detail.
Really good.
Yeah, but really that speech, man, that speech. I love
her mentioning like that she was been inspired by all the others, like as a young kid she's been lifted by the dead. Yeah, all the other speeches, and now here she is doing the same for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
pretty good.
I really like the way she like compares like, you know, Ferrex has been sleeping for too long. You know, it's like how they've basically let this happen to them. They've let the Empire like come closer and closer, and it's like they're not going home anymore. It's like they're here to stay. It's like, you know, it's such a good speech. It's such a good speech with so many nice like comparisons and just very well written. Big applause, big thumbs up. I'm doing it right now. Thumbs up for
the Empire dude comes up and throws the I don't know, it was his coat probably over the projector.
Yeah.
And everyone is just furious. Like they're all ready to fight now. Like her speech is done.
Breaks out and everybody's just going.
Yeah, everyone.
Yep, and the way it escalates, and like even Nurchi there, it's like Nurchi's such a minor character.
Yeah,
he showed up like once. In the first episode.
But Brazo's like ready to fight.
Brazo,
like he gets pushed. He punches. He uses the freaking brick and just whacks the guy over the head.
Yeah, Brazo's a big guy and he's strong too, man. Like I would not want to fight Brazo.
I'm gonna use Marvin's brick to beat you.
Picks up an arm and just nice. But it's not like, you know, it's a very triumphant moment, but it's also like this is not going to end well.
No,
you know it's not going to end well, especially once the bomb happens.
Yeah,
the kid throws the bomb, and I like, you know, it's well set up because this is the son of the part shop guy who has the tower, the communicator. Yeah.
And the dad's been taken in. And
the dad was taken and he was hung. He was killed
after being tortured.
Yeah, he was killed. And so his son has made a bomb and he launches it, and like that escalates something. That escalates things very quickly, and I like that Brazo's like immediately like goes to rushing grab him and take him out of there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you get him out of there because he's not gonna end up in a good spot.
I like his character, like just the tiny bit we get with him. Like,
oh yeah, I mean like, it's just very little things. Even the what is it? The transport, the guy who arranges transports, stuff like that. I don't remember his name. Cassian approaches him at first to get a transport ready.
Oh, in and out of the... Yeah, okay.
He's also one of the first... I think he's the first person that he hears that there's a post out looking for a Canary man on Ferrex.
From him, yeah.
So I like that he gets like a little moment victory. I like how Nurchi goes out, you know, gets a little comeuppance for being a scumbag, just turning on people. I liked how Nurchi got himself arrested. Like, you know, he's like, pretend you're arresting me, and just immediately, hey, oh, whoa, they go straight into character and do it. It's like, that's smart. That makes total sense. He's not gonna want to make it seem like he was cooperating. Yeah, because that would ruin his life. Everyone would hate him.
I feel like a lot of people like knew he was like a betrayer.
I don't think people like him very much.
Yeah,
but I still think, you know, it's like,
you told me all I had to do was stand here.
Yeah, yeah, he was good. But man, like I like that he gets his comeuppance. He's just sitting there. If he hadn't tried to turn in Andor, if he hadn't tried to,
he wouldn't have been there.
No, he wouldn't have been there. He would have been totally fine. So, you know, comeuppance, as they say. I like that scene. It's a very good way to end off, even though it's, you know, kind of bittersweet, because, you know, it's like all those people are going to be in so much trouble. Yeah. Like, it's not going to end well for them.
The Empire's only going to come down harder.
And I like that Cyril saves Deidre in that.
Yeah, I do like that part. I do like that.
I like that way better than the stalking stuff, I gotta say. I
like the heroic nature better than the stalking nature. Okay.
Yeah, I do wonder, do you think they're trying to set up some sort of relationship there?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, his stalkery thing was obviously inclining him to it, but...
Gosh, I hope not.
I would be fine with it if the stalkery part wasn't there. The stalkery part kind of sours that. Honestly, they have very similar views.
Yeah. Well, I just want them to be I want them both to be professional and to be good officers.
No office romances. None of that. It's unprofessional, okay?
Yeah. Especially since, like, she's already wiped his record, like, I'm kind of...
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'd be fine with it if he wasn't stalkery at first. That would make it... Yeah. I hope they kind of push that aside. I hope they don't really remember that part as well. They kind of forget about that. It was a moment of weakness.
I'm trying to forget about that.
It was a moment of weakness. He didn't mean it. He was not actually creepy. He was just sad. I don't know. Like, please forget about it. It was a mistake. I don't know. I would like to see them kind of team up. I think that would be interesting to see him team up, and hopefully the sergeant gets,
Oh, I like the sergeant.
Hopefully the sergeant comes back. Hopefully he gets involved. I do think Cyril's going to be brought forward next season.
Yeah.
Because of that. Especially, like, this teacher was panicking. Like, she was going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was not looking good. He was very smart to get her out.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Gunpoint, just quickly. Yeah.
I suppose I should thank you. No need. I like that line that he...
You don't have to.
You don't have to?
You don't have to.
I did like that.
Yeah. I did like that. Like I said, I would like their relationship, like the possibility of the relationship a lot better without the stalkery stuff.
Yeah.
That was a little
cringe.
Unfortunate. Yeah, I hope that goes away. Put that under a rug. But, what do you...
You know what? Alright, let's talk about Luthen.
Yeah. Luthen's rad. He's my favorite, like I said.
My favorite... Okay, I'll just say it. One of my favorite parts of his is him putting on, like, the disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Going to Alderaan, putting on the disguise, and, like, we haven't seen him smile the entire time.
Yeah.
But then he cracks a smile, and I'm like, oh man,
he's clearly getting into character.
Yeah, I was like, that is so fake, but it looks real, but like we know it's so fake just because we've seen.
Well, you can tell he's putting on character because he does that little pose, and and then he goes immediately back into his original disposition.
I was
very serious.
I do not want to be this guy.
Very cynical. I love that he is like the embodiment of like the dirty hands of rebellion. Like, he does all the dirty work. He's making these very difficult decisions.
He takes the money, finds the people, and does the work, like gets them to do the work.
Yeah, like even in his introduction where this guy is talking to him, his engagement is very low.
Yeah.
Very low there. Because, it's like he's very cynical, he's very focused on his job. And, obviously he doesn't want to make too big of an impression either. Because, he wants to be.
He doesn't want people to remember he was there. He doesn't.
He doesn't want people to remember him. So like just nice little things. Nice little things. Like
what do you think about his very first conversation with Andor?
In the warehouse.
Yeah, like the very first meeting.
Really good.
Really good.
Really good.
I just love how like he just wants all he wants to do is he needs to know who Andor is, like where he lies in reference to the rebellion. Like the part, that's worth a lot of money.
Well, I mean the whole conversation, he's really trying to get at like Andor's perspective.
Oh yeah.
On the rebellion, he's trying to figure out if he can trust him, if he can recruit him. He offers secondarily concerned about the part. He doesn't care that much about it.
He offers $1,000 just for the story on how he got it. Like, he wants to know who he is, like who Andor is. He offers
a very large amount of credits.
Yeah.
Just to hear how he got it. And it's like, that's just walked in. It's like, that great little line happened, that little sequence there.
I thought it was a great, like, introduction for him. Like,
oh, yeah, I think he's super strong. Like, all throughout. I think, like, every time he's on screen, it just, like, he just has a very strong presence.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can tell who this guy is. And, like, of course, his speech that he gives to the undercover agent, the deep cover agent. It's like that, it's like he's preparing, like, a sunrise that I'll never see. It's like he's sacrificed everything. Like, that's how he is. It's like, what if I sacrificed everything? It's like, he's like, his ego is what he said, like, started it. It's like, he'll never even, like, the ego will never be fulfilled. It's like, he'll never even be remembered for this. He's accepted that. He's sacrificed, like, everything, his morality, his emotions to this. Like, he's given all of it up. He cannot be, like, he's just dedicated to this cause.
Yeah.
And he'll pay any price. He'll give up Krieger's men. He'll give them up.
Yeah. What do you think about that? You think that was a good decision, right?
I think it
No?
was a smart decision, not a moral one. You know, um,
Because if it was me in that position, like, okay, do I cover up?
well, it's not even a cover up. It's just like you have
Well,
information that will save this group.
Or I could not do anything about it
Mhm.
to help, like, cover my spy. Like,
To protect the person who gave you the information.
yeah.
Yep. It's difficult, but I mean, like, he's right. The spy is way more valuable. Like 6 years to get him up to that position.
Yeah.
He's so useful as an
Yeah.
asset. Like so useful. But it's like those are people's lives, and
Yeah.
you're making that decision. That's a really difficult position, and he's constantly in those positions, constantly. Like, and I like how even his assistant, I forget her name, but
I didn't even write it down.
Yeah, I forget her name, but even his assistant is like they're both like constantly like we have many mouths to feed. It's like you're just one of them. You are just another one of the hungry faces. It's like back off. You need to stay in your place. So we are trying desperately to do our job. We cannot give all our attention to you, and you're breaking out of like your position threatens everything. Don't do that. It's like you need to calm down.
You need to calm down, sir.
Yeah, it's like just constantly like being reminded of that. It's like that's so good. It's like he's so interesting as a character.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
That choice that he made to save or to cover up
to let Krieger's men get killed.
Yeah, to let Krieger's men die. I thought of that. I'm like, man, that's a really tough decision,
that is.
man.
I'm so glad I don't have to make those kind of decisions. Gee whiz. And like then he has to confront Saw about it.
Yeah.
I think Saw Gerrera was actually used pretty well here. Makes total sense why he would be involved.
Oh yeah. And he doesn't see it the same way like Luthen did. He was like he was appalled.
No.
Like
no, and he's a little crazy too.
He is.
But eventually like Luthen puts it in his hands. He's like, "All right, I'll let you make the decision, Saw. I didn't want to do this, but yeah, I'll let you make the decision. It's what do you do?" It's like Saw agrees with him.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, okay. He's right.
Yeah.
He's right. It's such a difficult position to be in, but he's right.
It's just kind of. I feel like. It's awesome we see the different parallels though, because Luthen he makes a decision in that one conversation, like the same time he gets information. He's like, well, like it's just simple, like you're worth more. This information like is
you're worth more than that. It's just immediately
to him, but then Saw Gerrera he's like baffled and like he's like appalled that all these men are gonna die. He repeats it like 5 times that conversation, like 30 men like are gonna die.
Yeah, he keeps repeating it, and the only way that like the thing keeps escalating is like, how do you know that? Where you have people there, you have people with them, you have people with Krieger, you have people in the ISB, you have people. Do you have someone with me? And it's just like constantly escalating. And I really like how Luthen's like, yeah, it was tubes. And
like, what?
What? That's ridiculous. No, my loyalty is only to you. So I like that's when he gets the gun, and he's just like, oh man. Tubes is just like, oh man, I messed up.
I was used.
Yeah, and Saw's just like, you'll never get out of here alive. Like, you must know that. And Luthen's like, I'm just doing this to get your attention. This is the only way you'll listen. And so, like, and that's when he gives it. It's like I really like that. Like, like that's what calmed Saw down. It's like, because Saw's crazy.
He's like actually crazy.
Yeah, he's like actually he's a crazy anarchist.
He reminds me of Alex Jones.
I can see it a little bit. If Alex Jones was a Star Wars character, if they ever put him in, he would be like Saw Gerrera. He would do that.
He would.
Yeah. You make a spin-off with Krieger and it's Alex Jones instead.
No.
I mean, they die in the end, so that'll be really funny casting. That'd be really funny casting.
All right, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I don't remember anymore. What was I talking about? I was talking about Luthen, right?
You're talking about Alex Jones.
I'm talking about
you brought
Alex
him
Jones.
up.
Okay. That's gaslighting. And that's
Okay.
bad. That's bad. Stop
I
it.
just don't want to be blamed. I'll edit it so that you did it.
You can't do that. That's not possible. You can just edit the whole thing out if that's the case.
Okay. Maybe I will.
You have a lot of editing to do. Sorry.
Ain't that just the way? It'll come out. It'll be out in 2 months. It'll be fine.
It'll be out in a year.
Hopefully sooner than that. Well, now.
Hopefully. Well, what else do you want to talk about Luthen? Like,
Well, yeah.
is there anything else you want to mention about him? Or?
Um.
I like his assistant a lot. I do like that Andor was a slip up.
Letting him go, like.
No, bringing him like face to face.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Face to face. That was not the best decision. And Luthen made it because he was so desperate for Aldhani to work.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted that heist to work, and he wanted it badly because it was the boost they needed. It gives them more money, and it makes the Empire crack down.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love that the Empire plays right into that, and that
Oh,
Deidre
yeah.
sees it. She's like, "Oh, this is exactly what they want,"
Yep.
you know. And like, what's the line? The one like the ISB officer above Partagaz, like the main ISB
Head one?
officer. Yeah, the head one. He gives this line where he's like, they think like they've got us by surprise basically, but they have no idea how ready or we only have to decide how much to tighten our fist. Well, it was something
Yeah.
like that. It's like, wow, that is exactly what they're waiting for.
Yeah.
That's exactly the attitude they're trying to take advantage of. It's like, wow, that's so good. And I like that Deidre sees it. I like that
Yeah.
she sees it.
Deidre's like, this is exactly what they want.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I like that she's...
And ultimately, like, them doing, like, all cracking down
Mhm.
and, like, Andor getting thrown in prison is what changes him. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I like it. It works.
Ironically, because they cracked down so hard, it made Andor harder to find.
Yeah.
Because it put him
In
away
prison in a different
prison
name.
with a different name.
That they're never going to check. Like, they
No.
never check.
No, they never checked it. So it's like he's in prison under a different name. So he's lost in their own system.
Yeah.
Which is like, if they hadn't cracked down as hard, maybe they would have found him normally.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they wouldn't have lost him quite the way they did. But it's also what like allows Deidre to come into as much power as she gets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, is what gives her the authority over Ferrex and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's a very important plot point. Like, it's very cool how it all ties together. How Donnie's this trigger for like the massive events.
Yep.
And then, you know, because Luthen made that mistake because he wanted Aldhani so bad, it's like now he's got to hunt down Andor because Andor's
And they were
seen
gonna-
him.
Do you think he was going to kill him?
Oh yeah.
You think he was? Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, if Andor wasn't going to, he did not seem, from when last Luthen was with him, he was not committed to the cause. He was not.
Okay.
Like, he was not all the way on board, and you know he paid him for it. And then he was like, "Tell your boss, tell that guy, I'm done. Give him this back. Tell him I did my job. I'm done."
Yeah.
You know, it's like he can't let that go because he's seen him. He knows who he is. He knows what he's involved in. So if Cassian were to get captured, everything falls apart.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought if he would have found him, he would have tried to bring him into the cause one more time.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think the fact that he sent Velen sent after him, just like the
Okay.
orders to kill him, like no, he's not.
Well,
going
I
to.
feel like that's the reason he went. It's because he wanted to talk to him before they killed him.
Well,
I
he
feel like that
was-
was the point he was there.
He was
for.
anxious about it. He like
Mhm.
you know, it's like his conversation with his assistant was like, it was kind of encoded speech, you know, like they were pretending as if it was like an auction and they were
Yeah.
bidding. And it's like, I really like that, by the way. I think that's very clever
yeah.
to do, even if like they know that, like, you know, probably no one's listening, but just in case you speak
Yeah.
it in code, because like any comms and stuff, you know, like you got to be very careful with comms, as Andor quickly learned in the first episode or the third episode. But yeah, it's like, it's very important that Andor is caught and killed.
Yeah.
Like, he even says, like, we don't have to catch him, we just have to kill him. So if the ISB is here, that's great. We'll just stake out the hotel, and just kill him before they can interrogate him. And he's right. That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
They don't need him alive.
Yeah. I just thought because that the reason he went, like Luthen went, was to try to talk to him before they killed him, just to see where he was at.
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't think he would have went if they were planning just to kill him.
I think he was just really anxious about it because that was like his first big slip up.
Yeah, but I would say going was a slip, like going while the ISB is so heavy there.
They have no reason to suspect him. They've never seen him. He blends in. He's not a suspect right now. Like, I think he's can easily get away with that.
What do you think? This is still with Luthen. They want to board him with a tractor, like they're trying to.
Oh, the tractor beam.
The tractor beam.
I like how he does it. I like his approach.
Okay.
Pretending to like overeat in the thruster and to stall for time while he preps his defenses is a good move. I do like the little, like, what are they? They like dart things or something.
Dart
that like
things?
the things his ship shoots out into the tractor beam that breaks it.
Oh yeah. Okay, like a bunch of shards, like a bunch of.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what that is. His ship is clearly decked out with some pretty advanced stuff.
Yeah.
And like obviously they're like shocked that it's coming from this type of ship, this Hallcraft ship.
Well, Andor was shocked too when he
right.
like when he gets on the
right.
ship.
It's decked out, but it's not supposed to look like it is. But I like how he handled that. There's one major or minor criticism.
The lasers.
Yeah, the lasers.
Oh, I hate those. That's
the lasers are really silly. That's so goofy.
The fact that I got both of like the.
Does a little spin and.
TIE fighters.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. It's like, yeah, that was silly. I don't really like that. I mean, that's not that big of a deal to me, but like, it's goofy. That's some Disney Star Wars action. Just not a fan. Not a fan of that. I think you could easily get rid of that. Just figure out. Just replace it with some other action beat.
I like it, particularly because of the way the Empire handles it.
Oh, I do like how the Empire handles it.
Like
I like that they're suspicious.
Yeah, they know they're suspicious. They're gonna board him just because, like, just for practice.
We could use the practice. It's like it's clearly because he's suspicious, but it's like either way. Yeah. And Luthen can't let them on board because his ship is decked out on the inside.
Oh yeah.
Be really suspicious. So it's better to just fly away. But yeah, Luthen's really cool. I look forward to seeing him more. His speech is one of my favorite moments in the show. I just really like his character.
He makes really tough choices. I like it.
Yes, he does. Like it. So real quick, do you want to talk about Bix? You want to talk about Brazo? Just pretty quick.
Yeah, sure. Talk about Bix.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the thing she was in. The torture scene with her was like scary.
Yes.
Was like
dude,
terrifying.
I love the idea for that. Like as the torture method they came up with the alien screams. They're screams of dead alien children.
Yeah.
And they hit like they just tuned it to like just the right frequency, and like it really messes with your mind.
Man,
that's way better than like the weird octopus
the squid monster
thing.
from Rogue One.
Yeah,
that was not good.
That was stupid, and it didn't even do anything at the end. Like it didn't matter. But this clearly does, and it's a really interesting like torture method.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes you crazy.
No, but it does like serious mental.
It does
damage
actual damage to you,
to your mind.
Yeah,
like it does.
And you can just see
damage. Yeah. It's I don't know if it makes you like crazy, but it does damage your sanity too.
I don't think she says anything for the rest of the season.
No, she does.
She does?
Yeah, she says some stuff to Cassian.
Okay.
Yeah, she says like, I dreamed that you rescued me. You climbed the wall. Marvel was there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she says a couple things like that, and she's like at the very end when she's on the ship and Cassian's leaving, he's like, don't worry, he'll find us. It's like stuff like that. Cassian and Luthen's confrontation at the very end of the season.
Very good.
By the way, yeah, very good.
I love that. Yeah.
Where he's like, it's like, you can kill me. What what game are you playing? It's like, oh man, it's so cool. I love that he's just like, either you kill me or you can take me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, it's so cool. Anyways, Bix is really cool. I think she's pretty strong. She just really wants to help like her friends out. Like she really wants to help.
Oh yeah.
Cassie
Well, she wants to help like her whole town.
Yeah.
Like,
and Marva, and she's just like, she wants to help them out. She's kind of involved in some shady dealings, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
You know, selling some parts and stuff here and there. But like, you know, she's ready to help Cassian. She's really ready to help Cassian, and you know, it's not because she likes him or anything, unlike what Tim thought. But you know, she just wants to help her friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like even like Pac, and like I like that she runs. She gets a head start in Brazo. Like Brazo's a good guy. He's also very ready to help his friends. He's always
Brazo's great, man.
He probably does it even more so to a degree. It's like how he just like subtly like tries to block the stormtroopers and stuff when they try to run. Yeah, it's like, oh whoops, sorry, and it's, you know, it's done in very like a subtle like natural way. It's like, oh I can't get out of the way. You guys are just whoops. You know, it doesn't feel goofy at all.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's good. Brazo's really cool. He's just always ready. Like he's taking care of Marva. He's taking care of like when Cassian comes to him. He was looking for Cassian. He was trying to encourage him to like get his act together.
Yeah. Get back to work.
Yeah. After this is done, get back to work.
Yeah.
Like after this all blows over, and like how Cassian like he approaches him and he's like starts telling him the story of like what happened.
Okay. Yeah. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
That's so good.
Where were you last night? Like, what do you mean? I came over, you didn't find me.
You came over, you didn't find me. You saw me on the bridge. I was heading back from this place, and we went to
your place.
And he's like, "Are you serious? Like, you know, like, are you serious about this? Like, you know, it's like, do you really need this, or you?"
Okay.
Like, yes. And so he even like adds to the
story. He adds to the story and changes it.
Well, he even adds to it to explain the wound.
Yeah, you fell over when I woke up.
Yeah, like, you insulted my choice of beverage.
Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I think that kind of like code, like I guess code language. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like where it's, you know, they're saying one thing, but they're communicating with each other.
Yeah, you know, Andor doesn't say I'm in trouble. He just goes right to.
He's like, this is what happened. It's like he's asking for a cover, an alibi. But without asking.
Yeah, it was just saying it.
It's just in the subtext, and it's so much better than if he would just go, "Hey, buddy, can you cover for me? Bro? There are gonna be some people coming after me. I think I kind of need you to give me an alibi." And Brazo would say, "Sure, yeah, I can do that if you really need it. Get back to work." It's like that's not.
But the way we got it was so good. It's one of my favorite parts.
It's way better. Another great like example of like this like code language is when Luthen is speaking with Mon Mothma. She's buying the artifact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
I hope you have the courage to turn back if it promises to be too much.
I wrote it down. It was really good.
It was really good.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Because the driver was new. Like, they didn't know if they could trust him or not.
Yeah, it's a daring choice. But I trust you'll have the courage to turn back if it should be a bit much.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, and there's so much of that like style of like language in this. It's so cool. Even like the security guard, he fell. You know, it's like that's where he's covering for him. It's like he didn't say.
I'll cover for you. Yeah.
It's okay. I'll cover for you. He was like, he fell.
Oh, and he's so desperate too.
You didn't mean it. He fell.
There's so many good like
going together, and then we already talked about
what
this,
happened.
But yeah. I'm really interested to see where Bix goes from this, and the kid too.
Oh yeah, I want to know what happens to the kid.
I'm concerned. I don't know how good of an ending he'll get.
Probably won't be very happy.
Yeah. But I like Bix. I really like the torture scene, the idea of the torture, and I like the way...
The sound.
I like that we don't hear the sound.
Yeah.
I like that it's to your imagination. Not all you see is the actress's face. She does a really good job of like conveying how much pain. It's just like, oh man, it's so good. It's so solid, and that scream is just to close it out.
Yeah.
Really good, really good. Big fan. Big fan. Yeah. So Brazo and Bix, pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about anybody else from the robbery?
Honestly, not really.
I think I don't think I have too much to say about them. I think they all did their jobs like pretty well in story wise. Not Skeen is a little bit of a scumbag, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even have a brother. Yeah, I'm not crazy, but I mean, like, he's not poorly written, just like, man, what a dirtbag.
Yeah.
But he does care about Nimic. Like, that's genuine. That is clearly genuine. But he still doesn't care enough not to betray him. Which is like, wow.
It's really tragic.
Yeah, it is. Like, I like the situation they're putting where, like, Vel's like, Skeen is like, there's a doctor, we have a contingency built in, and she doesn't want to take him. She doesn't want to risk the mission. It's like, I like that little. He's ready to confront like everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just ready to push everybody. Nimic seems like the only one he has like any sort of soft spot for at all, and it's not a very soft spot. It's like soft as limestone
compared to the others.
Yeah, compared to the rest of the rock. Like it's relatively softer, I guess, but you know, it's still not crazy. You know, Nimic plays a pretty important part.
Yeah, I like most of his dialogue with Andor too.
I do. I think he's pretty impactful for what little time he has. And how he dies. Another like pretty tragic death.
Could have been avoided if they had the situation over like in a little bit more control.
If they had a little more time.
Yeah.
If they had a little more time and a little more thorough, they could have totally avoided it. But
and he doesn't just die right away. Like that would have helped. Like I know it's sad to say, but that would have helped him if they didn't have to leave. Like
maybe because Skeen was ready to betray them. So who knows?
But I don't think he would have if everything went according to plan.
I don't know. I don't know if he was getting any money for that. I don't think he was getting paid.
Yeah, so, that's right. Because Andor
and he, you know, like he's a rebel. He's just him against everybody else. So
yeah,
it's like I think he might have betrayed them at some point. So you know, who knows?
But when he tells Andor, like he offers like the position to
he offers to split it.
To split it. Literally, like as soon as he's like the words come out, in my mind, I'm like, Andor has to either make the decision or kill this guy. Like those are the only two options.
I mean, if he doesn't, he's gonna get
betrayed.
Because Vel would obviously believe Andor was trying to steal.
Oh yeah, and like immediately in my mind, I'm like, what's he gonna do? Like,
yeah, and so you can see like he's thinking it through, and when he asks about the brother, it's like as soon as that's confirmed to him, he's already made up his mind.
Yeah,
like that was the last bit of information he needed, and now he's just like it just getting through his head, and once it's through, he just goes through.
It's done. Yeah,
no hesitation, just.
Yeah, which I like. Yeah. Andor makes quick decisions, like, and he's final.
Once he makes that decision, once he reaches that conclusion, it's done. Like like you can see him thinking it through, but once he's there, he does it. No hesitation.
Why hesitate?
Yeah.
Like this guy is he could betray me, so.
Yeah, like if he didn't do that, it could have been very bad.
Oh yeah.
For him, because Vel totally could have believed that he would betray them.
Because
he's the mercenary. He's just there for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And Skeen could easily overpower Vel and take all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets rid of Andor, then he can easily get rid of Vel. No problem. And then he gets all the money to himself.
Yep. Yeah. Which is why, like, when he, as soon as he gives Andor the choice, I'm like, okay, Andor, you gotta either take this guy away or you're in trouble.
Right. Yeah. So I think Nimic's speech. His little recording.
Oh yeah,
I like his recording.
I like how Andor gets the.
Yeah, I do like that.
Son. I like that.
Because it was established, you're my perfect test reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very excited to give it to him, but that was his last wish, was to give it to him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want it, but he takes
just...
it. He takes it anyways, and he throws it in with his bag of money, his little suitcase.
Yeah. Which means he still has it.
Yeah.
Which is I'm glad.
Yeah, which he listens to it, and that's one of the things that contributes to like changing his mind.
Yeah.
And I guess now we're kind of in the miscellaneous like things we missed section, maybe.
Yeah.
We kind of talked about all the characters and most of the plot.
Yeah, we did. We jumped around. We jumped around quite a bit.
I think Aldani was the lightest part, which it's
yeah,
pretty good, but it's like I think we've talked a lot.
We have.
So I guess I did want to point out like I think it was really sad, his conversation with Marva, where she's like, you understand, don't you?
Oh.
It's like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
There's one quote that I really like. It reminds me of another quote that I really not crazy about because of the context. But this one is much better. So Cassian says, I can't, I'll be worried all the time. And Marva responds, that's just love. It's like, I like that. I think that's very nice. Little line, little exchange. I think it's very impactful.
Mm-hmm.
There was another show.
WandaVision.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And the line is, grief is just love persevering. And...
Says the non-entity being like...
Yeah, says the... the context makes that line an absolute joke. Just like
not good.
Yeah, and I've seen people say that was like the best line they've ever heard. And it's like, you need to watch
pure
more.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, you need to watch more movies if that's
watch Andor. Watch Andor,
watch
guys.
Andor. It's better. Like, this is so much simpler, and it's true. It communicates a simple truth, and I really liked it for that. That's one thing I wanted to point out. The suicide in the prison.
Oh,
how that's treated.
Everyone else, oh, it's gonna smell.
Yeah, the reaction.
This guy is just died.
The reaction isn't sympathy at all. It's just like, oh, he could have at least waited till, it's like, there's no sympathy at all. It's like, that means
Kinu's reaction is not happy.
This must happen a lot.
Yeah.
And it's just an annoyance. It's like, oh, this guy, great, he committed suicide. Now we're down a man. Now we're gonna be suffering we're gonna have to try to even harder to get up in the rankings so we don't get shocked. It's like, gee whiz. I just think that's a really impactful way to characterize how dire the situation is. Or dour. Dour might be the right word.
It's sad. It's just...
Dour is the right word.
Yeah, there's so much... This show is sad. It's
hopeful. It's hopeful.
Well, it is, yeah.
And I really like
it. It becomes more hopeful as Andor changes,
mm-hmm.
which I like it.
Yeah. Nimic speech. I have a brief piece of that I enjoyed.
Okay.
Well, I mean, the essence of it that I enjoyed. It's basically like freedom is a natural force, and tyranny requires constant effort because it's like an unnatural force.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a really interesting idea. Just like as a concept, I think it's pretty interesting to think about. I think it's fairly true.
Yeah.
Well,
like the harder, like, I think that was the point of
mm-hmm.
like the Empire cracking down.
Right.
Like, the harder they come down, the more people are going to arise from all over.
Well, I mean, like, the Empire's preferred methods up until Aldani were to like slowly manipulate people. Mm-hmm. Kind of like boiling a frog in like a pot. Like mm-hmm. slowly, and then it just dies. It doesn't even know what's happening, mm-hmm. so it doesn't know to panic. It's kind of like that. And so, basically, what the rebels did, turned on the heat.
Yep.
They sped it up, and so now people are noticing much more. And so, like,
they need to wake up.
Yep, they need to wake up. But yeah, and like the idea that like there are like pockets of rebellion sprouting up all over the galaxy, mm-hmm. and they've enlisted in an army they don't even know yet. Like, they don't even know they've joined the cause yet. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's so cool. It's just a really cool speech, and I just wanted to highlight that little piece.
Yeah.
Any complaints?
From the whole show?
Yeah.
Creeper dude, That's
Just Cyril's creepy stalkerness. That little brief stalking section.
those lasers out of
The lasers, yeah.
ship.
I don't like Brazo headbutting the stormtrooper because he's wearing a helmet,
Yeah.
which is a little goofy. Just because stormtrooper armor doesn't like do anything anymore. I don't really want that to be contributed to. I would like stormtrooper armor to be more effective. Like a headbutt.
Yeah.
Headbutt's not like.
Headbutts hurt.
Yeah, they do, especially if you hit somebody with a helmet on. Like if you headbutt like somebody wearing a football helmet, that's gonna hurt a lot. And Brazo doesn't like.
Remember the
react to it.
prequels when Obi-Wan gets like headbutts Jango Fett, and he's just like that was a stupid decision. I shouldn't have done that. Like
Oh yeah, that does happen. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
like they both headbutt.
Speaking of headbutt,
Oh my gosh,
Nathan headbutted a shelf.
that scared the heck out of me.
Everything just fell on top of him.
What's happening?
It's just a bunch of Lego figures.
I don't even
fell
know.
all
I
over
can't
him.
even set it up because I don't even know what I was.
It's all right. You can cut it out if it's too embarrassing.
Nah, that's me. No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, whenever I think of like hitting someone in a helmet, I think about like there's this scene in Phineas and Ferb, Perry the Platypus like punches. No, it's in the Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension movie, where Perry the Platypus's alternate dimension form punches Perry, who's wearing a football helmet, and he shakes his hand off because it hurts.
Yeah.
It's just like that's what I think of. But point is, helmets should hurt. Otherwise, they're probably not very good helmets.
Yeah, absolutely. Even stormtroopers.
Yeah, even especially stormtroopers. Stormtroopers' armor is just so bad. Like it's really hard to justify. They get beat up by Ewoks and sticks and stuff, and it's a little bit of a stretch there.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I would say so.
At least they're being bombarded though, but the headbutt's a little sad. It's not the biggest thing in the world. It's just kind of another negative. But I don't have a lot of complaints that we haven't talked about. So, one more neat detail I spotted. I really like the way Luthen kind of bookends the robbery. So the episode before the robbery, it ends with Luthen. Luthen's anxiety about it. He's like he's nervous about it, and his assistant lady, she's like, either they'll succeed or they won't. It's like it's like there's nothing you can do now. And he's like, what a daring prediction is.
What a daring.
Yeah, and so it like ends with him being like really anxious about it, and then the robbery, after the robbery, that episode ends with Luthen's reaction
celebrating
to the
like
success.
Yeah.
So it opens with his anxiety and then ends with his.
That was good. I did like his.
I really liked how that kind of bookended the robbery itself. Big fan. So, how do you want to close? You wanna?
Okay, first, random thing. Has nothing really to do with the plot.
Okay.
Anything. I just want to cool idea the show had.
Okay.
It's an antique store.
Oh yeah, the antique store.
The idea of antiques in a galactic.
That's really
society.
Interesting.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, not necessarily because now I'm not just collecting things just because they're old.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can. Okay, here's prehistoric things from one planet.
Multiple planets.
From one planet, but then I have like a super ancient thing from a different society. Like you're collecting things because of how it's made. Like this society, although like their planet, like they were super less advanced, the materials they had to work with way harder to work with than this planet.
Right.
Like I just thought the idea of collecting artifacts from a galactic.
It's
like,
very interesting.
Cool.
I think
so cool.
Yeah, I think because like the sheer variety is like amplified.
Oh yeah.
Like infinitesimally. Like it is huge. Like it's way more than on Earth.
Yeah, you're gonna get prehistoric tools like made from like crazy things, and
they're going to be very different based on whatever the creature's biology is.
Yeah, different kind of farming, like it's gonna be really
Oh yeah,
cool.
it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
Like I really want to. That's okay. Small complaint that I think was not very cool.
Okay.
There are not enough aliens. I would like more aliens.
Yeah.
There's not any. There's not. The show doesn't have a single alien like character, minor or main. It is just like mostly background stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's one guy who says what, and he's big, and he's cool, and I wish.
You wish there was more.
I wish there was more.
You see him.
aliens.
You see him walking around.
Yeah, you see him
but
in the
not
background.
very many.
No,
Like
they are very few and far between, and I would like to see more aliens, like involved in the plot.
yeah.
Because for the most part they're just background, and it's like, well, Star Wars it's a big place. It's not just people. People are a lot. There are a lot of people in Star Wars, but there's also, you go back, you watch, you go to Mos Eisley in A New Hope. It's like there's aliens everywhere. You go to Coruscant, and it's like there are aliens everywhere. You go to Andor. There's not very many.
Not very many.
There are a couple. I like most of the ones we got. I wasn't crazy about the pirates' design.
I was actually kind of sad along with aliens.
Mm.
There are robots, but not.
Yeah, there are not that many.
Especially on Ferrix. There's not as many, but
no, and
which is kind of odd
Ferrix,
because of the kind of
you
work
would
they do.
expect there to be more on Ferrix.
Yeah.
Especially since they're in scrapping and salvaging. It's like, yeah, droids would probably be like pit droids. Why aren't they pit droids? Pit droids are perfect for them.
Yeah, but like the droids we did get, like B, I really like. B.
I do like
B. B is really good.
I like the Enforcer unit. What was it? The K2SO unit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang.
I did. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
That was great.
I thought that was funny. It's a little misunderstanding. He's very stupid though.
I saw that clip before I saw the show, and I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be good! I can't wait to get. I can't wait to."
Oh man, I gotta watch it now.
Well, I was already going to watch it.
Okay. I was just be funny. That's like the.
That's the one thing that just.
Like, okay, yeah, I'm in. Funny robot, I'm in. Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, I feel like there's something. I'm probably gonna remember it later and regret I didn't.
Then you can record it and send it to me, and I'll just tack it on here at the end. It'll be fine.
Hey guys, this is me. This is Im. How you doing? It's what I forgot. This is like 5 weeks later.
I've already done the thing.
Oh man, I really do think there was something I wanted to say. Well, it's not in my notes.
Well, if you forgot it probably wasn't that important.
Yeah, just like so many things that writers forget, Oh, what do you mean Luke's a good character?
Wait, he wouldn't murder his nephew? What are you talking about?
What do you mean he wouldn't murder his nephew in his sleep? What do you mean? What are you talking about? I'm sorry.
He would commit suicide. I can see Luke doing that.
I just kind of forgot about it. I forgot about him being the most hopeful person in the galaxy. I just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, that was just an example of me just not knowing what to do with the script.
The absolute state of modern screenwriters.
But not Andor.
Not Andor. Tony Gilroy. Good job. Whoever did the music.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal.
I don't know who you are, but I could find out later. You did a great job. Big thumbs up. Set designers. I guess we're just gonna shout out the whole
It looks
crew.
great.
Yeah.
It looks.
Yeah, let's shout out some of the crew. Yeah, set designers, good job. Costume designers, great job. There are some really cool costumes. Any like little details you want to throw out, or
No.
no little compliments you want to throw out at all?
No. It was all good.
Everybody, you did a good job. There you go. That's your shout out. Good job, effects team. Good job, everybody. Big round of applause. Look forward to seeing season 2.
I hope I could throw all the money you would earn at you.
Yeah, I wish you were paid more.
It's getting is it just confirmed to season 2? Is that all Andor has?
Season 2 is going through. It shouldn't be affected by the writer's strike. I believe it was finished writing. The writing was finished for it.
Oh yeah.
Just before, so.
Hopefully it's good.
I hope.
I was gonna say hopefully we get more seasons, but I'm like, well, let's just hope the second one's good before we get more.
It's good as long as it goes. I hope it stays good as long as it goes.
Yeah.
And as soon as it doesn't want to be good anymore, I hope it stops. 'Cause I'm sick of bad stuff. I want good things, please. I know it's hard when Disney sucks this much, but
Maybe Ahsoka will be good.
No. No, I don't think so. Like, that's... Who's doing that? What's his name? Filoni?
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure it's Filoni.
That's not good.
I mean, Ahsoka's like his character. Ahsoka's his baby. he's putting her in everything.
That's not good.
He cannot help himself to just, it's like it's OC. It's a little fan fiction. He's not a very good writer. But, I mean, like, he wrote some, maybe. I don't know. I don't know exactly how much good stuff he's responsible from Clone Wars. Pretty mixed bag, that show. But
I've never seen Clone Wars, so...
It's pretty mixed bag, that show. There's some stuff that's pretty good.
By that you mean it's great and it's good. That's the mixed bag you're talking about?
Yeah. Clone Wars fans, don't hate me, you guys. Just not... like, looking back on it, there are a lot of arcs that are pretty rough. A lot of the concepts they introduce that are really, really bad and stupid.
Okay.
Especially the Force Planet. The Force Planet is the dumbest thing. The Godzilla thing is really dumb, too.
Wait. What?
Yep.
Okay, we can talk about this later.
We'll talk about it off recording, but,
Alright, any closing remarks?
Thanks for listening to everybody. You should check out Andor. You should give it a watch.
Yeah, check out Andor.
If you haven't, by the time you're here, I mean, like, that's kind of weird, man.
I was gonna say.
This is kind of an in-depth spoiler discussion. What are you doing? I won't judge you.
I mean, whatever you want, I guess.
Whatever you want. I think it's worth it. Two random guys. We think it's good. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So clearly, you should dedicate your time to it. This has been Save the Script.
Yeah.
I'm Agent M.
And I'm Baby Giraffe.
And we'll see you later.